Welcome, everybody, to Michigan International Speedway, race 23 of the ARCS Darkside Mustangs A² Cup Series season. I'm Carmen Sienna. Thank you all for joining us here. My commentator Kevin Young beside me for tonight's race at this 2-mile oval in Brooklyn, Michigan. 76 degrees the air temp, 117 the track temp. It'll be a slick track tonight as drivers take on this super quick oval. Qualifying underway. So we'll jump right into it. Kevin, nice to have you here again on another Sunday evening. Once again, without NASCAR Cup Series racing, thanks to a weather delay. But we get to see some racing tonight.
Yep. Gotta make sure I click on screens when I do things like this. But anyway, they're going to get more laps in here tonight than they are going to get in the main race that happened earlier today. So at the very least, that's something they got going for them. But as you usually say, what are we expecting here tonight as we see the cars going around for qualifying? It's going to be kind of a one-groove racetrack. I know we've been saying that with how many lanes and how wide it is, but it's going to be a race to the top where cars are going to really want to get pinched close to that wall and really run that wall, similar to what we saw at Fontana early in the season. It's about kind of running that middle to high groove, and you're going to see cars kind of drifting lower and lower to try to pass and then slide up to try to get the job done. But for most cars, you're going to see them really hugging that middle to high groove, and cars are going to only go down there for desperation moves. And we probably see the choose, because see a lot of cars choose that high groove, the outside line as well.
We're looking at qualifying undergoing at the moment. Looking at Mike LaJoy in number 88. Josh Gave and Matthew Ladder currently top of the board.
Still a handful of cars still to go out there yet, including some names worth noting. Tom Sears coming up to start his lap. Tommy Withers, Alfred George, Brendan Roberts, Donald Ray, Brandon Featherplace, Edward Marshall. Still a lot of drivers to go yet, so Josh Gaiman is not safe with that top of the time board yet. But at the very least, he's still set provisional P1 at the moment. This Mike LaJoy has had a little bit of a texture issue there. We'll see as he crosses the line here. See what he can do. And that's going to be up to P2 for the Black Acid Racing Machine. There it loads in. Number 88. He will jump up to P2. And right now, at the moment, locked into the front row. But we still got Tom Sears here. Tom Sears about to finish his first lap here. Going to cut the dog leg. Let's see what he can do with 6 minutes to go in qualifying. Where will he slot in on lap 1? Only going to be good enough for P10. Second lap seems to be the money lap. So Tom Sears is going to have to get all he can in this second run.
$17 cars at lap time so far in this field. Austin Purnell, Eris George, Brandon Featherplace, and Donald Ray about to join the board.
Yep. So let's see all slot in here. Second lap for Sears in the books. That's going to put her up to P3, just behind Mike LaJoy, but not enough to confirm his spot in the front row, avoiding the qualifying duels, I should say. Edward Marshall, his teammate, a driver that's not a repeat winner, a driver that needs a win, jumps up the pole position here, bumps Mike LaJoy out of the Fast 2, and now it's to be Marshall and Gaiman. But Brandon Featherplace, teammate in question, currently on lap 2 here. We'll see what that 34 machine can do. Current points leader, cutting the dog leg. Can he jump up to the front row? He cannot. Only P4 for him, that number 34. Looking at who's got left to go. Donald Ray about to finish his second lap here. Across the line, he just did, and that's going to be P8 for him in the now number 50 machine. And that just leaves a few drivers left. Tommy Withers, Alfred George, and Brent Roberts. And Austin Purnell, who just finished his run. There is Alfred George, speaking of the Bahama man. There he is. I'm going to finish lap 1 here. The gear up for lap number 2. See what that number 22 can do on lap 2. Lap 1 in the books, only for P20. Lap 2 here as he's coming off 3 and 4s here in Michigan. Can he get any higher than P20? Cross the line. P10. He'll pull himself into the top 10 here for that number 22. And with about 3 and some change to go, only 3 cars have not set times yet. Tommy Withers and Bren Roberts haven't left the pit lane, and Kevin Feemster had an incident on lap number 2, meaning he will not improve regardless, which is not good for Feemster right now in the playoff hopes. He's going to have to hope he gets a better spot in the duels.
That's left in qualifying, just in case anyone wants to join in last minute.
Mm-hmm.
As it stands, we are going to be looking at, once again, a 24-car field.
Yes. Like we over 20, we'll see 2 heats instead of what we saw last week with 1. Inside, so again, if you are new here, because there are people that always jump in on these Twitch streams new. If you are new here, the top 2 of, assuming no one else jumps up, Edward Marshall and Josh Gaiman, they will both skip the duels we're about to see next and will have their front row spots confirmed. After that, anyone with an odd number currently in their qualifying position will be in heat number 1. Anyone with an even qualifying position will be heat number 2. And the winner of said heat will start in row 2, and so on and so forth down. So second place will be row 3, third place will be row 4, all the way down until all 24 cars are slotted into a position. So it's a good chance for some cars, maybe like looking through the order here, Dale Markowski, Oscar Pinnell, James Kerr, Stefan Oberstadt, who had kind of poor qualifyings, chance to maybe gain a few spots and start closer to the front. Looks like Bren Roberts currently actually only on the track right now, looking like he will actually take an attempt here too. Currently coming to finish lap number 1 here. Second lap is the money lap. Pretty quick for Sunday Money Racing, but last week in Richmond was a bit of a headache for him. Got pinned by an accident, got pinned a lap down and could never get his lap back. Looking to try to avoid that fate here today for the number 1. Already locked into the playoffs with a win at Nashville. So does not have to worry about winning here today to ensure his hunt for the championship in 4 races time. But a second win would definitely be a icing on the cake and also help Sunday Money Racing. So coming off 3 and 4 here, we'll see that number 1 with 3 career A Square Cup Series wins. Let's see what he can do. Across the line for the number 1 machine. That's only going to be good enough for 16th. Right behind Tommy Reynolds, right ahead of Ryan Pinnell. So that has not changed much the front row. Front row is still the same with Edward Marshall and Josh Gaiman. I will say one more time, at least looking at qualifying teams here, it's good to see a lot of this field is so close, which you expect with the best of the drivers for ARCS and coming to A Square, but a lot of close competitors in this field right now, where 1st and 19th are separated by 0.3.
Qualifying will conclude here. Edward Marshall and Josh Gaiman get a free pass into the main event tonight. Everyone else has to get to the heats to figure out where they're going to be starting tonight. So we'll look at heat number 1.
Good luck, guys.
Mike LaJoy and Tom Sears at the front of the field, ahead of Daniel Michelle and Seth Wansing, who's sitting in row 2. Briley Wright, Cody Riggs in row 3, ahead of Tommy Reynolds and Ryan Pinnell, with Austin Purnell and Richie Catania in row number 5. Withers will be on his own at the back of the field in row 6. As things get started here in earnest.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a very interesting first heat. See how everyone handles in a back.
It's going to be indicative at the very least, because there's some question marks going into this track. How indicative will that low line be? Can drivers make that work? In these heat races, even though it's a smaller field, it's a good kind of tell to see what the future holds for some of these cars. What can they expect? What will we see? And it's usually the two heats will provide kind of a insight of maybe who's got some speed and who doesn't.
Eleven cars in both the heats tonight. So, more cars to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is important with 4 races left in the playoffs to try to make your way in.
Yeah. We'll probably bring it up at least a couple times as the night goes on here and try to kind of update the playoff standings. But right now, at the very least, there's the cut line change at least a little bit with Dustin Painter's not being able to continue on in the championships. The line changes from instead of it being with David Wright obviously winning last week and jumping into the locked in drivers. The changes now. Emma Kruger is now the cut line. With Emma Kruger not here tonight, it raises a chance for some other drivers at the very least to kind of claw their way in here and maybe make some points up, including Bradley Wright, James Kerr, and Matthew Leiter, just to name a few.
Yeah, the gap going into the night was a mere 10 points between Kruger and Bradley Wright.
Mm-hmm.
Bradley Wright's going to be almost a guarantee to jump Kruger into the round and into the top 16.
Correct. But that point also becomes mute if a driver, let's say like Edward Marshall, currently on pole position. If he pulls off the win here tonight, that line changes, and now Kevin Feams is the cut line, and it then changes a lot more things with only 3 rounds left. So we'll have to see how it all plays out. Obviously, again, we will keep you updated, the viewer, as it all plays out. But right now, we still got some heats here. Michael Joy, Tom Sears. Michael Joy, another driver that needs a win. 176 points back on the cut line. Basically, almost in a win-and-you're-in situation. So we'll have to see how he does. Tom Sears obviously winning in Atlanta. Does not have to worry about winning here, but obviously a win would help.
Almost showtime here for Heat 1 here in Michigan. The rain may have affected today's race in Michigan in real life, but it's all sunshine on track. Pace car is in, and the green flag is out. We're underway for Heat 1.
There are 3 wide in row 3 there. Bradley Wright tasted no opportunity here. Try to charge to the front. It was Tommy Reynolds. My mistake. Bradley Wright was in the middle of that situation. Tommy Reynolds trying to go to the front, and they're almost 5 wide there. This track's wide enough, but you don't want to tempt the devil of fate. Drivers trying to find and fan out the pick line. Still a little bit racy. 2 wide there for second there. Sears trying to hang on a second. Wanzing trying to pull it away from him. There's Danny Michelle also on the in-groove as well. Michael Joy kind of controlling both lanes. He will lead lap 1. 7 to go. There you can see how potent that outside line is. Some car clips the wall there. I believe that was the 7.
It was the 7 Reynolds.
Tommy Reynolds, or it may have been the 24 Catania. Regardless, a little smoke there on that cool shot. But you can see the mad scramble to try to get up at the very least. You can see Tom Sears, he was pinned on that bottom on the opening laps after the first lap, and he's already going the wrong way quickly. Now fighting for 5th here, just trying to make something happen. Up front, you can see Seth Wanzing challenging the back of Michael Joy here, maybe try to set up for something. But if he's going to go for it, he's going to have to go heart and soul into the corner and just try to diamond it, if you will. Oh, right in the wall there. Bradley Wright hits it a ton. And that's going to check him up a little bit and allow Tommy Reynolds to attack.
Wanzing once again going after that race lead. I will tell you, as we talk about the playoffs here, we'll talk about it more and more and more as we get through these next month of racing. Wanzing is the first driver that is not does not have a race win. He's 215 points to the good. It would probably do more help if he won a race, and not someone like Wright or Marshall, who definitely need a win.
Yeah, he's on a point where he doesn't need a win. It would help him obviously in the playoffs and give him when the reset happens, give him some extra bonus points in that regard. But right now, at the very least, with 4 rounds left and currently 5 drivers fighting for spots, 1 driver will automatically point his way in. And right now, with a 50-ish point lead over Austin Pinnell, he's looking good to be that driver in question. As right now, he took the lead over from Mike Joy as we were talking about that. And looks like he's trying to sue Smalley in a battle for second as Tommy Reynolds, remember, qualified 16th, looking to try to start instead in position number 6 instead of where he would have been. Tommy Reynolds trying to find his way up there. Sears almost hits the wall there. He's going to take evasive action. Down and up he will go.
Reynolds up to 4th behind Daniel Michel. Wanzi trying to break the draft here a little bit. Some champ car style racing there down the front straightaway.
I have not seen, ever since Champ Car had the race here. It's similar driving that we saw in the Champ Car ABN 500 for Open Medicine, where we saw a lot of that tow and drafting.
Still seeing it there. Well, they're trying to break the draft and really kind of set Mike LaJoy on his own. Reynolds on the inside lane will make contact with LaJoy.
Ooh. Reynolds making no friends these past couple weeks. LST2 to go here. You just see again that little toe there. Reynolds not going away. He knows he doesn't want to sink back here and try to chuck down, so he's going to have to try to bully his way up a little bit. Push LaJoy in a bad spot and try to train. But now with Daniel Michel behind Mike LaJoy, he's going to give him a push here. Give him a shove. This is obviously what Seth Wanzi wants to see. No pressure for his lead here.
Yeah.
But Reynolds is finally going to have to concede here for second at the moment and just try to live the fight of the day. But he's still got a fender in there if he needs it. LaJoy going to come up, and he's doing what he needs to do. As we come to start the white flag lap, Wansing will take it. The battle for second still on, and LaJoy's going to go down. And that may have been a bad mistake, as it's going to allow Michel to have the preferred line. Ooh, and right there they touch. Yeah, LaJoy's now in a sandwich here. Sears is going to try to maybe push him. He's going to have to find a way to fix through it quickly here. No help for the 25, though, as LaJoy's going to get some help from his teammate, Austin Pinnell. He's going to try to push that 88 through here. Austin Pinnell's going to jump up to the high line here. It's going to be Michel and LaJoy fighting for second as Sears comes off. I mean, not Sears. Wanzing comes off 4. Mad Scramp for second. Wanzing will in the heat. And second position will go to Michel. LaJoy 3rd. Austin Pinnell 4th. Tommy Reynolds 5th. Tom Sears 6th. Ryan Pinnell 7th. Tommy Withers 8th. Catania 9th. Riggs 10th. And Briley Wright finishing 11th. And that will lead nicely into heat number 2 here. We'll take a quick look at the starting grid. It's going to be Brandon Featherplace and Matthew Leiter lining up in row number 1. Following on, we got Donald Ray and Alfred George in row 2. David Wright and Garrison in row number 3. Bren Roberts and James Kerr in row 4. Dale Malkowski and Stefan Oberstadt in row 5. And Kevin Feemster will be the lone car in row 6.
Markowski making his official debut tonight for Black Acid Racing, the 48 machine. And he's starting just behind his team boss, James Kerr. As the cars begin to roll.
Quick grid.
Yeah, everyone's ready, I think, to get into this one. All 11 cars on track here. All 11 cars were in the last heat as well. And we know these cars are going to get racy. But it's going to be the game of, it's
going to be kind of a test here. We saw the inside line of feather plays. He's going to either have to try to clear going into one as quick as he can to try to get a jump on Matthew Leiter, or he's going to have to try to drop back, slot inside behind Matthew Leiter, and then try to attack to fight another day. Obviously, different drivers will have different elements of strategy, but it'll be interesting to see how that 34 does here on this opening lap.
As they come out of turn 4, pace car once again down pit lane to start heat number 2. It's Leiter and feather plates at the front of the field. And away we go. Fair place with the early launch there. Donald Ray trying to make some early inroads here. There was a car up near the wall. This car's in the wall. That is
there's a car around.
George.
Alfred George, you are correct. A lot of cars going to fan here.
Saw a car in the wall at first. I believe that may have been Josh Garrison that tagged the wall to start. But
yes,
then it all accordioned.
You were correct. Going back to look real fast, Josh Garrison did clip the wall there. Alfred George tried to come up, and Alfred George just happened to be right where Garrison was, and obviously got hooked on the fender, turned into the wall. So Alfred George just trying to maybe get it clear there. Couldn't clear that number 18, and basically cause that effect. We saw Matthew Leiter just hit the wall there as well. Big lick for that number 83, and that's going to leave him the sitting ducks. Donald Ray is going to get around David Wright, last week's winner. It's going to slot in for third.
David Wright's looked really, really good these past 2 weeks. Showing a lot of pace in that car here tonight. Sitting third at the moment, trying to chase down other proven race winners here in the A-Squared Cup Series with Donald Ray. A pair of race wins to his name. Feather Place got a pair to his name. Ben Roberts behind him has got 3 to his name.
Yeah.
Leiter's still looking for his first.
You got a lot of wins in this top 5. 3 out of 5 drivers have wins. Ray and Leiter obviously
4.
looking for wins. Yeah.
Well, Ray's looking for a race win this season, but he's got 2 from last season.
Yeah,
He won at Daytona
in career.
Dover.
Yeah, in career, but I was thinking season. You were thinking career, so 2 different wavelengths there, but the point still stands. Heck, even if you go through the top 7, the only driver not looking for a win here is Matthew Leiter in the career, as he's the only one in the top 7 not that winner.
Yeah. I think him, Garrison, George, and Markowski are the only ones in this race that don't have a win in this series.
Mm-hmm.
But Leiter has a win in SNS, the truck series that just started its 6th season last night.
Mm-hmm.
So Leiter still has that feather in his cap. A little more tame for this heat.
Well, tame to a degree. Opening lap was a little bit more chaotic, but less racy as they got a little more space out. Donald Ray had that couple absent races. Could have been a driver that you would have thought could have maybe pointed his way in, or at the very least been in that contention. But with those 5 to 6 race absence, lost a lot of points, and now he's in a must-win situation. And right now he's getting the run here. We saw before he took that sabbatical, he was getting quite strong with his cup car, and now he's trying to get that 50 to the front here and make a move around that 34. Coming to 3 to go here. Top 4 are really not under they're under a kind of a blanket. And then you got Bren Roberts there. And then it's basically 1 pack of top 5, another pack of 5, and Alfred George cross the line as we speak. So if something happens in this first pack, could allow the second pack to attack, but that second pack's a lot more racy. As you can see, that battle for 7th, just as the side shot there.
One thing I wanted to note, Dale Markowski in the 48 set the fast lap of the race that last time around with 2 to go, still showing some pace despite being down in 10th place at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But with 2 to go, We'll see if anyone decides to put elbows out like what we saw in Heat 1.
All right, under attack here for third. Donald Ray under attack from David Wright. David Wright under attack from Matthew Leiter. As we're starting the white flag lap, looks like Fireplace got some breather room, which you want to see. You don't want any last-second lunges here.
Ray went to the bottom. He saw everyone else fan out behind. As here comes David Wright.
Ooh, a little bit racing the back there.
Yeah, we saw that. About 3 wide in the back, 3 wide into the front.
Mm-hmm. They were piling hard for second in heat number 1. They're battling hard for second in heat number 2. David Wright kind of in no man's land here. Ray on the preferred line. Brendan Roberts maybe trying to find a hole, but there's nowhere to go. Fireplace is going to cross the line first. Ray and Wright are going to touch hard here. That's going to open the door for Leiter to sneak in and take second back. Then it's going to be Wright, then Ray, Roberts, Kerr, Feemster, Garrison, Markowski, Oberstadt, and George. So the 2 drivers fighting there hard for the position end up coughing up a net 1 loss spot as Leiter will creep on around.
So we'll kind of go through how the first couple of duels went. Here's the results for heat number 1. Seth Wanting and Daniel Michelle finished 1-2 for Sunday Money Racing, with Mike LaJoy and Austin Purnell in 3rd and 4th. Reynolds and Sears went 5th and 6th, ahead of Ryan Pennell, Tommy Withers, Richie Catania, Cody Riggs, and Bradley Wright rounding out the 11-car heat. Moving on to heat 2, it was Fetterplace that won that heat. He'll start 4th tonight. Matthew Leiter and David Wright rounded up the top 3 there. Donald Ray, we saw him in 4th. Then it's Roberts and Kerr, Feemster, Garrison, Markowski, Stephen Oberstadt 10th. Then Ours George rounding out the 11 on that end. He'll start in the last row in 24th tonight. So a lot to talk about. Obviously, we'll discuss the full starting grid and where everyone's going to line up from those heats here in just a moment. But while we're stepping away, we're going to step aside for 90 seconds and remind you of what's coming up here beginning August 21st with the HTL Cup Series.
I hear the train a-comin'. It's rollin' around the bend. And I ain't seen the sunshine. I don't know when. I'm looking for the present, and time keeps dragging on. But that train keeps a-rollin' on down to San Antonio. On down to San Antonio. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy. Don't ever play with guns.
A lot of fun coming up here on Monday evenings here on AVN, beginning August 21st. HTL Cup Series Season 4 begins with Speed Weeks in New Smyrna. Couple minutes left here in warm-up here in Michigan for the ARCS A² Cup Series. Dan Michelle currently the fastest on the timing screen. And Wanzing and Feemster. So Sunday Monday Racing looks to have a lot of pace here tonight.
Yeah. they are a team that is leading the constructors, so they've shown they've had the pace this whole season. As last time I checked, after Richmond, yeah, they were up by a little bit over 100 points over Line Power Motorsports, and then about 200 ahead of Bandit Racing. So 3-horse race at the top of the constructors between Sunday Monday, Line Power, and Bandit, all trying to bring home the constructors' glory for their respective teams. But don't count out Presidential Racing and Beatron and even Black Acid, as they're basically kind of fighting hard for fourth, but still about 500 back on the top 3 there. Minute to go left in warm-up here. Last minute cars here, obviously taking chance to practice entry and exit. Not the most trickiest pit lane, but at the same time going from about 200 down to well over 60, 45-ish range for the pit lane entry. You don't want to risk speeding and making a bad problem worse if there's a green flag pit stop window.
We'll take a second while we're waiting here for the warm-up session to conclude to talk to our in-race reporter tonight. We'll talk to Seth Wansing, driver of the number 9, who won heat number 1.
I'm pit
Seth,
here.
this is Carmen from the ABM booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Carmen, I gotcha.
Alrighty, obviously we know that the race is coming up here very quickly. How you feeling? The number 9 looks pretty quick with that new Miller Lite scheme.
Yeah, the number 9 Miller Lite Chevy's really fast, Carmen. I feel really good about it, especially in race pace with some of the different things I can control on the car. Just got to keep the tires on it and honestly walk the track temps and where my RPM's at entering the corner to determine what kind of run I have on entry and on exit. If we can kind of just stay technically sound here, should have a pretty good race here, and really think Sunday Money's poised to have a good run here. Donald's fast and Daniel's fast, and Bryn hasn't had the chance to practice just yet, but he still had a really nice heat, and I'm sure by stage 1 I think he'll have it all figured out.
Obviously the team's looking pretty good. The lowest driver on that team is 12. You talk about Bryn Roberts, without practice still put at top half of the field, so obviously a lot to look forward to. Seth, new car looks fantastic tonight. Love that metallic blue. Good luck, and we'll talk to you after stage 1.
Thank you, Carmen. Thank you and Kevin for broadcasting, and hope to put on a show for all the folks at home, and thank you guys for tuning in. So sit back, grab yourself a ice cold Miller Lite or whatever you're drinking, and some dinner or a nice snack, and enjoy the show here from Michigan.
Absolutely. Good luck, Seth.
Yep. Thank you, Carmen.
That was Seth Wansing starting this race from 3rd place on the grid, and obviously he's optimistic about how this race is going to turn out as we see him begin to roll off pit lane. Again, this is what we're looking at here, 76 degrees, the air temp here at Michigan International Speedway. The track temp's gone down by several degrees from 117 to 109. Hopefully that track temp continues to go down. The drivers will be thankful for that tonight. Looking at the starting grid, it's Edward Marshall on pole ahead of Josh Gaiman. But then there's a lot of fast cars behind them. Seth Wands and Brandon Fetterplace in row 2. Danny Michelle and Matthew Leiter in row number 3. Row 4, Mike LaJoy and David Wright. Row 5, Austin Purnell and Donald Ray. Tommy Reynolds and Bryn Roberts in row 6. And as we look further on down the second half of the field, Tom Sears, James Kerr in row number 7. Kevin Feemster, Ryan Pinnell in row number 8. Tommy Withers and Josh Garrison in row number 9. Row 10, Rich Catania and Dale Markowski in row 10 on themselves. Cody Riggs, Stephen Oberstadt, row 11. Row 12, Bradley Wright and Norris George.
I will say it's also...
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say it's good to hear from Seth Wands again as an in-car report. I haven't seen him for many weeks in that role. It's good to always hear from the drivers in question. So pace car going to pull off here. Green flag is out, and away we go for the ARCS Michigan 200. Good launch there by the 16, but the 61 of Gaiman's going to get a little bit better one.
And a little bit of a graphics issue, it looks like here. Trying to get all of this fixed up. Gaiman going to win the race off there in the corner 2 in that position.
It's a mad scramble to get up to the top first, and Gaiman was able to clear Marshall. Now Wanzing, we know, made that inside line work for clearing purposes. Can he get ahead of that number 16? I think he cannot get that Miller Lite fast machine there ahead. They'll be side by side, but lap number 1 in the books, and it's going to go to 61 to Josh Gaiman.
It's Gaiman, then Marshall, then Wanzing, then Fetter Place. As Fetter Place tags the wall just slightly.
Yep, little tap there. Just a tiny tap. Looks like he'll be okay for the most part. Just hopefully we can get that trading things thing fixed here sooner. And lastly, please apologize for the technical difficulties here. But those top 2 cars are Gaiman and Marshall, respectively. And then you got Feather Place and Wanzing and Leiter. That will be your top 5. As Leiter is under pressure, as Marshall's gonna, Shell's gonna have the better line there on the high groove. That 83 is not gonna have the chance to jump up. He's got 4 cars that are in a train. Spinell also gonna try to argy-bargy his way up there. It's about finding your line and making that line work here. Take another little spot there, 2x2 abreast, but it's still gonna be Gaiman leading the way.
Gaiman, then Marshall, then Fetter Place, then Wanzing and Reynolds.
Yep. Big fight for 5th as Reynolds looks like he's going to try to clear that 83. Not going to get the run. You can see how fighting it's there in the back there. That is behind David Wright. That would be for 11th position, as it's Garrison, Kerr, and Ray all fighting hard there. There you can also see Oberstadt and Feemster. Feemster, another driver that's in a needs to get good point situation. Only 40 above the cut line. But if a driver wins tonight, he then becomes the cut level. If a driver wins tonight that isn't a repeat winner and isn't already in the top 16, he will be the next driver on the cut line. So that 21, after a bad week at Richmond, is looking to rebound here in the hills of Michigan. Donald Ray going the wrong way, but we'll cut back up to the lead here. There's Josh Gaiman, battle for second, still raging on. Feather Place was able to kind of get around Seth Wanzing, is now looking to try to get second position, so a line power swap here for second could be on the cards. Marshall holding his nerve and holding his groove in that higher lane.
Reynolds also making it back to the top 5. Started this race in 11th place after finishing 5th in Heat 1. Now sitting top 5, or battling for the top 5 with Matthew Leiter, trying to get in.
Yeah, you got to give that 7 credit. He knows how to carve his way up for the field, especially if he's farther back. We saw it last week. Same thing with Danny Michelle and a few other drivers. They know how to cut up for the field when it's go time. When the light turns green, they know when to go and how to kind of get to that front. Matthew Leiter looks like he's going to keep the spot here. Going to give a little bit dirty air to the 7. The 7 touches the wall. Same thing with the 2 Black Acid Race machine cars. They're stuck on each other. They'll get unstuck. But that was just an accordion effect where 83's kind of 30 air, led the 7, the 25, and then also the 88 LaJoy all off the cliff. And then those 2 cars kind of got stuck. Luckily, neither didn't turn the either. They'll both stay pulling in the right direction. Only 1 spot lost for the both of them. Main loss would be they lose kind of touch this pack here, but at the very least, it could have been worse.
Leiter holding on to the top 5. It actually pushed Reynolds down to 7th, with Michelle back to 6th. As Fetter Place drops a spot, that is to Seth Wanzing, who moves back to 3rd. So Wanzing back to 3rd, over to Leiter. Fetter Place, Leiter, Michelle, Reynolds. David Wright moved up to 8th in that whole transaction, back to where he started. Then LaJoy and Austin Purnell, who got together a couple laps ago. And then Josh Garrison in 11th.
Yep. Josh Garrison, one of those drivers, isn't really not worried about points here. He's running a part-time schedule, so He's just here to win and have fun and bring home some points for his respective team in question. And it should be worth noting as well that in 2 races time after this race, we have 1 more race, the Indy Road Course, and then we'll have the next opportunity for driver switches. So if a team does not feel comfortable with the lineup coming into it, they could in turn switch a driver out if they feel like there's someone better waiting in the wings. Maybe a part-time driver is doing better. Maybe they feel like someone in the lower leagues is strong enough that they feel like they can help make that push for the constructors. So it's coming up to the kind of the crucial time here. And if you got to win, you probably got that job security that you need to finish out the rest of the 10 races. If you're going to make the playoffs, you probably also got that security. But for some drivers that may be a little bit down on their luck right now, it could be under threat, at the very least, to losing their seats. Some names kind of come to mind. Probably won't happen, but we're throwing out at the very least Cody Riggs, Alfred George, at the very least Jack Mulkey, kind of low on the totem pole right now. Now, obviously, they may be doing great with the teams. It's not me spreading any rumors, but they could be under threat if a part-time driver wants to go full-time and they feel like the team in question can make a lunge. On a lap 11 here, but still Josh Gaiman up front. Marshall has not really made much of a chance to lunge, kind of just keeping that line he needs to, does not want to move off that itinerary at the moment. Is very happy keeping that number 16 in second. Then it's Wanzing, feather place Michelle, your top 5.
Front of the field, Josh Gaiman still leads the way as Seth Wanzing tags the wall just a smidge. Better Place looked to try to make something happen with it, but couldn't. So they'll stay in status quo. And now Better Place wants to make a move on that 9. And will have help. His Wanzing's teammate also ditching him there as he actually makes a 3 wide. Michelle going from 6th to 4th.
Tommy Reynolds on a man on a mission here. Seth Wanzing obviously lost a couple spots there. It's like Wanzing not going to put much of a fight here. Let's keep that car in tow. Doesn't want to really risk this long run here. Reynolds going to get the job clear. Going to cut back here. This is Feemster, Wright, and Ray. They are all fighting hard here for that is 12th position we are watching the battle of. Feemster currently in 12th, Ray in 13th, Wright in 14th. And then behind him, you can see Catania and Brandon Roberts. And you can see that kind of they're falling into pack number 2 here. As you can see, it's kind of a pack situation as you kind of look at the timing and scoring. Top 5 is in 1 pack. Then you got Wanzing and Wright in their own second little pack here. And then you got LaJoy to Garrison, and then you got this little stagger watching here in this next little groove here. 5 cars all fighting for 12th and above. This is not even for stage points. Feemster not going to give Ray an inch here. And you can see no love lost, aggressively side drafting, just trying to pull 1 car out of here. Ray looking to keep just enough distance. He can obviously slide up and pinch off Feemster. Feemster looking to stay just ahead enough that Ray cannot do that. He can out drag him on the straight. Oh, and Ray gets a little loose there. It's going to allow Roberts an opportunity to maybe stick it in, but Roberts will not take it. So it's still going to be Feemster under attack here. Feemster, though, gets a little bit low, kind of has to stink up a little bit here. That's going to allow Briley Wright to try to go higher. You can see the car a little bit loose. And he'll keep it behind the Feemster. So Ray going to take the spot here at the line and should be able to jump up. And now Bren Roberts is going to be the next car on attack. Up front, we just had a pass for the lead as Marshall was just able to get around Gaiman. While we were watching this. And you can see right there, big battle. Oh, accident in the back there. 2 cars. Looks like it was Ryan Pennell, Tom Sears and Ryan Pennell. Tom Sears is actually around there on the inside wall. One car, though, so we will stay green. Sears is going to have to get it fired up quick. Let's say, looks like something may have lost with Tommy Withers as well in that situation. You'll see right here on the replay, Withers kind of goes aggressively, flips the wall, and sends two cars off spinning. Sears ends up backing into the wall. Ryan Pinto only loses real time there. Back to live action we go. So we got Gaiman's, everyone's paint's fixed here for the good part, so that's good to see. Michelle gonna challenge here for second. And so getting races, we're coming close to the end of the stage. Gaiman, kind of the big loser in that regard. It started in first, was leading the majority of this race, now back down to fifth. Marshall gonna get cleared here by Michelle, and now you got to fight there. Reynolds kind of doors the 34 a little bit there. No love lost in the back there as Feather Place returns to favor as they are 3 wide to cross the line here on lap number 19. And we are coming to the end of stage here. Going to end in 2 laps time on 20. As pit lanes have just closed, so they are fighting to the end of the stage. If caution were to come out, it would obviously end the stage in regards. Oh, Reynolds able just to get in front of the 34 there. Wright gonna squeeze in there, barely a hole wide enough for him, and he'll jump back up to the high groove. Gaiman gonna stink it high. Feather Place in an awkward spot. Usually the low line doesn't work, and oh, in the wall, there's Wright. Wright and Wanzing. That will be a caution. That will end the stage. Wanzing thinks he ran in the wall. Wright had a car on his inside, according to him. We'll have to take a look when we see that, but that will end the stage. So as it gets all cycled up here, and there's Donald Ray. Looks like he got his own little accident or involved in this previous one we just saw. So take a look here. So we'll kind of cycle through here. We're going to cut up to... So you can see there, Michael Joy's on his inside. So we'll play it out. We'll take a little bit of a wider shot here. And you can see LaJoy kind of challenging here. Dave Wright has nowhere really to go here. You can see LaJoy coming up. Still a little bit of room. Yeah, it's interesting. It looks like then Wright just keeps going. It looks like the car kind of chased him up the racetrack. And he happened to take Wanzing with him. He had kind of enough room, and it looks like Ray got his own little incident with Austin Pinnell there and just backs into those 2 cars. Oh, yeah. An incident there, too, as Ray and Pinnell had their own little issue. So pit stops happening here on Regard.
Very interesting how all this played out. Josh Garrison misses pit box.
So he'll have to repit.
Michelle beat out Gaiman.
Yeah. It should be worth noting as well. Looks like we may have had an incident as Wanzing may have ran in the Reynolds under caution for the pit stop. So just I'm hearing from the radio chatter here. Yeah, going back here to see what happened myself. Oh, yeah, Wanzing plowed in the back of Reynolds, so that's going to give Reynolds a little bit extra pit stop time here, as obviously he has to fix that big smack he got, so Reynolds will now leave his box. So we're coming up to choose here. Garrison obviously going to pit here. Obviously, he was not intending to stay out. So Michelle will have first choice. Then Gaiman, Feather Place, LaJoy, Purnell. They'll be the first 4 to pick here. And obviously, I assume Michelle would probably go high here. It feels almost like Gimme. Same big game will follow him. The place will take his chances low. LaJoy, late pick there, will go low, along with Austin Pinnell. See how the rest cycle out in a second here. Take a second for this to quickly cycle through. A few extra cars going to come in. I'm fix some damage. Sears, Wanzing, Wright, Ray. So quickly cycling through what we have here. We have Michelle and Feather Plays, row number 1. Gaiman and LaJoy, row 2. Lighter and Ospinel, row 3. Catania and Briley Wright, row 4. Alfred George and Dale Markowski, row number 5. Sears and Wright. Sears and Wright will both lead the pit lane here. They will catch up and they will be on the inside line. Every car will get caught up here before we go green. We'll have another 25 lap dash here. Well, I would say now 20 lap dash first stage, 25 for the second stage. We'll be ending on lap number 50 here. Pace car going to pull off. Green flag is out and away we go. Good launch by the 25. Everyone else going to try to slot in. You can see the blue and yellow coalition here. Gonna slot in 1, 2, and 3, even though none are technically teammates. And you got Mike LaJoy there in 4th. Matthew Leiter gonna lose a little bit of time here in 5th. Hold station.
Josh Gaiman, the pole sitter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're both kind of about to say the same thing. He's moved to the outside lane. Let's get back to that front of the field. Do that.
So Michelle gonna end up losing a couple spots here just because it just shows if you get caught low on the wrong point, we saw with Edward Marshall, it really worked from in this element. You want to pinch your car kind of in that middle high groove and you want to hold it and just kind of keep it there. Only when you want to attack, you want to go low, but if you cannot complete it or get the job done, then you're gonna end up going the wrong way quickly. You're gonna have a parachute strapped to the back unless you get some help.
Look a little bit further back here. Reynolds once again having to charge through the field, this time from further back than 11th.
Mm-hmm.
Not a happy camper.
Yeah.
Really, neither is Seth Wanzing or David Wright. They're sitting right now down in 22nd and 21st.
I think what adds salt to the wound is Reynolds didn't even do anything in that caution. He just kind of got plowed in the back of and had to fix that damage to put him back here. So in that element, thought he was safe under caution, ends up having that incident, puts him here, and had to fix the damage instead of burn the fast repair. Now has to charge his way up to the front, which we know he can do in that number 7. We saw it during both the heat, we saw it the opening laps of this race, but it's a big ask to go from outside the top 10 inside the top 5. This whole second stage is going to be reeling that in. But at the very least, with those wins he's got in his pocket, he doesn't have really any threat per se of not making the playoffs. It looks like he'll try to set up Markowski here and Matthew Leiter. Matthew Leiter started P5 at the start of the stage and is now falling back almost outside the top 10 here. Looks like an anchor was strapped at 83. At this moment, he may be under threat here from losing stage points at all, as Reynolds going to slot in the middle here. Leiter, an odd conventional spot to hold it off, and it looks like he's going to lose 1, 2, 3. Markowski and Riggs touch. They touch again. They touch a third time. But luckily, they both keep it straight. Tom Sears there in the middle does not want to end up in a piece of this.
Yeah, a little bit of PTSD for Tom Sears, who almost went a lap down in there in stage 1.
He spent both laps of caution there fixing whatever it was ailing that car. It feels like he's got it fixed up enough. I think he'll be okay.
Markowski typically racing in the Saturday Night Showdown series on Saturday nights in the Truck Series. As Garrison gets loose, 18
Yeah, he'll keep
car.
it straight. Mm-hmm.
There's a spot there. Props to Motorsports. Teammates there with David Wright and Tommy Withers. But struggling so far. Markowski and Sears and Riggs fall in this battle. This is for 11th place, just outside the top 10.
Look at the biggest winners so far right now have moved, or I should say, Stefan Oberstadt and Richie Catania, 17 spots up and 15 up spots respectively for both drivers. Adding on that list, Bradley Wright up 14 and Cody Riggs up 10. Biggest losers obviously going to be Donald Ray down, Wanzing down 21 at the moment, really putting the hurt on at the moment. Matthew Leiter down 13 along with Donald Ray, and David Wright down 12, obviously all within that one lap, opening lap caution we saw earlier, and something seems to be ailing that 83 as he is sinking like a stone.
He's already down to 19th place.
Yeah, he took 4 tires, so it's very odd. Because he was holding fine the first stage.
And not seeing a lot of damage on that 83 either, but also, likewise, Wanzing's not gaining any positions, neither is Donald Ray.
Yeah.
They're sitting 23rd and 24th right now at the very back of the field. Again, for those that are just now tuning in, welcome to the ARCS A Cup Series here at Michigan. I'm Carmen Sienna, and alongside me, Kevin Young, for tonight's race. Been a very entertaining first 30 laps, starting lap 31. Josh Gaiman in the lead, a better place. Then a little bit of a gap than Mike LaJoy, Rich Catania, and Steven Oberstadt in the top 5.
And look at this top 5 here for a moment. Gaiman, Feather Plays, Feather Plays current points here. Gaiman, 2 wins at least on the year right now at the moment. Does not really need a threat the least. But then you look at Mike LaJoy, currently sitting in the points, outside looking in at the moment, currently 176 away from the cut line. Basically in a must-win situation, cannot really point his way in. And then you got Catania and Oberstadt. Catania, obviously, part-time driver, just looking to get a good finish here for his team, maybe even win the race, steal one. Oberstadt already got 1 win with his win at Dega. Does not really need the threat making the playoffs here, as every driver to win will now make it in. So a second win is not necessary, but obviously a good run would definitely help him in the long run. We saw last week, magic can happen. David Wright was able to pull it off and get the win. Strong car, strong driver, and was able to get that win in the closing laps. And now Michael LaJoy's trying to join that club. But obviously still a long way to go for that 88. Many laps to go here, not even at halfway. And still a little wee bit away from the stage ending.
Mike LaJoy looking strong as he really closes in on the top 2. Likewise, Reynolds still in trouble as he tries to battle with Bradley Wright. And that's Evan Marshall in the 16 just ahead. As well as Austin Purnell and Daniel Michelle, who's dropped positions since the restart.
We have a battle for the lead brewing here as Feather Plays is challenging for the front here. Got a good low in run here. Thinks he can clear that 61, and we saw that the first stage too. Gaiman led a lot of it, and then Gaiman ended up falling kind of quickly back down, but was able to try to charge back up. So maybe a bit of a game plan for that 61. Lead some laps, fall back a little, and then charge back up when necessary.
Better place to the front of the field. LaJoy gonna hound the back of Gaiman. And Rich Catania. Obviously a part-time schedule for the 24 machine, but he's looking really good right now.
Yeah, he does. Again, running that part-time schedule, just here for the fun of it, but love to get a win. He's getting good runs here too. He's keeping close, and we've seen that at the end of stage 1, as obviously 50 is the cut line for stage 2 here. You can see drivers slowly kind of get bunched back up here as the run's going on. Like, for the end of this thing, we'll probably see that pack of Michelle, Reynolds, Marshall come up and join the fight to really make this a 8-car battle. As Michelle is already almost there, along with Austin Pinnell. David's still trying to hang on that inside here of Mike LaJoy. He's getting the runs he needs, but it's kind of a sunken cost fallacy, if you will. Maybe he wants to jump back up. He looks like he'll do that right now to try to get back another run here.
There's Austin Pinnell charging forward as well.
Driver that if he was able to pull off a victory, he was so close at Richmond last week, was second within 10 to go. Just couldn't get around that 7, and then a little bit of Candemonium allowed Wright to sneak on through and beat it in the catbird seat right now, trying to challenge hard Catania. But if he gets that win, oh, his game is going to cut him off here. I'll hold that thought in a second here, as he'll try to slot in. He'll get the spot over Catania, but oh, he just clips the wall almost there. But to finish my point, if he does win, it would not affect the playoff standings, as he would be someone already above the line. So it would just lock him in, and all drivers would stay where they are. Yep, you can see Reynolds and Michelle, they have joined the fray. A wee bit away for David Wright and James Kerr, the next 2 cars there in 9th and 10th respectively. Tall ask to make up 2nd, but let's see if they can get the job done. You see a car on the apron there. That is the 38, if I'm not mistaken, of Oberstadt. Looks like he had a slight mistake, because he was just inside the top 10 a minute ago.
Crazy how things happen. And they happen quickly. We still have coming to 11 laps to go in stage number 2. Stage 2 ends on lap 50.
I think staying if it was a scheduled stop or if he hit something. I'm not seeing anything in the battle box, and going back in the replay, it doesn't look like he hit anything, so it may have been a scheduled stop. For that 38, maybe try to get off sequence and maybe cycle out to the front, knowing an odd choice, but he's only 1 down at the moment, so let's see how it all plays out. Did take, I think, 2 tires in the stop. He had 10-second stop, but only took 2 right sides, so very odd. But anyway, it's not going to change anything on the front battle here. There's Gaiman, there's Austin Pinnell. Edward Marshall joining the fray. And this is what caused the last caution. We saw a lot of drivers fighting for prime real estate, not getting going, as Edward Marshall are basically pushing the lap down car, trying to tell him to get on the lane, get going, because he wants to make some moves here.
Yeah, Steven Oberstadt. The first
Currently
car.
1 down.
Yeah, the first car right now off the lead. That first car that's on a lap down all race long.
Yes.
With Donald Ray still half a lap ahead, should be fine for the rest of the stage. As Feta Place once again under threat from Mike LaJoy and Josh Gaiman, and obviously you can tell that Oberstadt has the pace. He's hanging in with his top 5 group.
Yeah, those fresh tires will do that for you, at least those 2 right sides. And again, it would be really helpful if he could get around Feta Place, because if he can get ahead here, at the very least, he would come
help
in
him out
and
strategy-wise, because he wouldn't have to worry about like starting at the rear of the field. He could just come in with everybody on pit lane and be good.
Yeah, and at the same points, he took 2 right sides. Presumably, he'll try to take 2 left sides and try to gain some track position. So he'll have a slightly slower stop. And now he's on that move. He's currently battling for 2nd. How much does Feta Place fight him here? So obviously the 30 air of a car ahead of you is probably not the smartest thing you want to deal with, but at the same point, it'd be a good car. There's Garrison on the apron too. So Garrison gonna go one down as well.
Another 2-tire stop, I believe.
Yep, 9 seconds. So very odd choice here for a couple drivers. Only one's gonna get the lucky dog. The other one's gonna have to take the wave around.
Well, the other one just got on the lead lap.
Oh, that's gonna change. Yeah, change situations.
Overstat got his way through. Worked out pretty well.
Yeah, Garrison going back real fast. Check Garrison as well. Nothing he hit.
I think that some drivers have to pit. That they have to pit in the stage. If not everybody, some drivers have to pit in the stage.
Yeah.
And it might be a smart for Overstat. Maybe a smart move, because if more drivers start dropping off, he's going to pick those places up. Obviously, we saw that because Garrison's already well behind this group right now.
Yeah,
and Overstat was in front of him.
Mm-hmm. And there's some drivers that won't be able to do it, like Ryan Pennell, Seth Wansing. They're a little bit too far back. If you're in that second groove right now, you could maybe make that work, but it's risky. Very risky. Battle there for third, Ospinel, Josh Gaiman, and Edward Marshall. Just trying to maybe find a lane. Doesn't want to make a 3 wide, push maybe Gaiman around, then challenge Austin. It's kind of seeing what horse does better. Looks like Gaiman will get it around here, so Gaiman will reclaim at third. Ospinel fall to fourth.
Marshall staying right there, tied up in 5th place. Ben Reynolds in 6th. He's been very quiet this race. Has not had a chance to be up to the front of the field so far. Coming to 5 to go in stage number 1, or stage number 2, excuse me.
But quiet's worked. We've seen that last week in Richmond. We've seen it multiple times this season where a driver we're not thinking, we're not talking much about, ends up sneaking around and being in contention late or even winning.
So far, Better Place still leads over Mike LaJoy. A little bit of action closer to the cut line for the points. Battle for 10th is a madhouse.
Yep, Riley Wright currently, again, last driver in at the moment. Well, presumably, as obviously Emma Kruger not here, he will jump up ahead of that car in question.
Michelle now in 10th place as Catania looks for 10th now, going to the bottom. They don't get it easily. Keep an eye on Withers, race winner from Las Vegas. He's in the playoffs. He's had a very odd season, just kind of being able to coast through this season after winning at Las Vegas on strategy. But he's looking at some stage points right now, with all those points sitting right ahead of him with 4 laps to go.
Yeah.
Trying to get around that 24 Catania now.
Yeah, don't leave scraps on the table if you can help it.
The sails on through. And he'll take top 10 at the moment, although a lot could change. You see, that's where Josh Garrison is. All the way back here.
Yeah. He will not be in contention to get his lap back. He's got to hope no one else pits
He
here.
will get his lap back because the only car a lap down.
Correct.
Because again, Overstat.
He won't be able to get it back on his own accord, is what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
He'll have to take the lucky dog to get it around. But if someone else were to pit late here, as obviously the pit lane will close this time by, so if no one else pits here, he should be all right bearing an accident as long as he's not in it.
Better place in the Joy.
Yeah.
Then you have Gaiman and Marshall. 2 laps to go. Pit lane is closed. Austin Burnell sitting pretty decent up in the top 5 once again. As we get ready to approach the halfway point in this race. Better place Gaiman, LaJoy. As LaJoy and Gaiman battle side by side. LaJoy to the outside lane, Gaiman to the inside. LaJoy trying to get a good arc, but we'll get cleared here. Coming to the white flag in stage 2. 1 lap to go.
Yep. So he's going to have one more chance here to really make something happen here. And remember, for the viewers at home, it's when Feather Place crosses the line. So if he can maybe make a late lunge into a corner and get an all right run, he doesn't have to hold it for the whole lap. He just needs to hold it as soon as Feather Place crosses it. Right now with Gaiman, fire lit under that car, it seems.
That's
He
the
will
game and
challenge.
charge forward there.
Yeah, found that extra switch. Found that nitrous, if you will. Gonna try that middle lane here. Featherplay's gonna try low. He's gonna try to arc to get some slipstream. But Gaiman not gonna get the run he needs. So coming off 3 and 4, Brandon Featherplay's looking good. Current points leader. He is gonna win stage number 2. Josh Gaiman 2nd, LaJoy 3rd, Austin Pinnell 4th, Reynolds 5th. Marshall down the pit lane here. That was odd. Marshall was in for stage points. He had to make emergency service. That regardless, Gaiman, LaJoy, Austin Pinnell, Tommy Reynolds, Bren Roberts, Kevin Fiennes, Tommy Withers, Riley Wright, and James Kerr will be your top 10. As Riley Wright, yeah, he'll blink back in 9th. But that was very odd for Marshall. Looks like he cut it close on fuel, and now he'll have to go to the back for obviously entering a closed pit lane.
Josh Garrison will be the free pass recipient.
Looks like Atani ran out of fuel too, so some drivers really push it to the end on the tank. So some drivers really did not make it. Featherplay's obviously still got enough lap. He'll go around again, will not take service here.
There's a lot of cars that'll be coming out behind. They'll actually start the race. They'll actually restart the stage at the end of the line because they had to come in for emergency service.
Yeah. So that probably won't be as bad for Edward Marshall at the very least, because a lot of cars have to come in for service. Michael Joy, Austin Pinnell, James Kerr, David Wright, Catania, Riggs, Ryan Pinnell, Donald Ray.
See, there's the pace car.
Mm-hmm. Josh Gaiman also had to come in as well for emergency service. Feemster looks like he may be sputtering. Yeah, he's getting toxic, going a little bit too slow. So we know the fuel window, then at the very least, we know it can only go from 20 to 52. That's what even some drivers didn't even make it then. So it kind of makes sense why Oberstadt and the rest came in. They knew they weren't going to make it. So take your chances instead of risking taking EOL. So at the very least, Oberstadt going to kind of look smart here at the very least. Got his lap back, and then doesn't have to worry about...
He's going to start his 13th.
Yeah. And if he ran out, he'd be starting at the tail end, and he was battling out to the top 10 when he pitted. So it's a net 0 at the very least.
Gain of 5 spots.
Mm-hmm.
And again, for him, Oberstadt doesn't really mind this because he's already a race winner. He won at Talladega early this season.
Yeah, so it's just here to get the win and have a good old time. So knowing what we saw with fuel there, kind of cutting close, we safe to assume 50-51 is the sputter limit, depending. Pitted around 2021, that's about...
You're 30 laps at most. You're guaranteed a pit stop, and it's easy to just kind of split it down the middle. You'll pit about 75 to 78.
Yeah.
Pretty easy and straightforward there to kind of figure that out.
Yeah, no. Only thing worth noting, like I said, last couple weeks, no pit stops really needed in that last stage, and now drivers have to pit here, so...
How about the increased speeds?
Yeah.
We're touching, let's see, top speed was...
200s, easy.
So 204.
Top speeds, not a lot of draft, can't save as much. Makes sense.
And again, all these cars that had to pit for emergency service will drop to the back of the field. Drivers trying to figure this all out.
Yeah, so we're going to get delay here, as obviously choose not going to happen. I was obviously a lot of cars trying to figure out who needs to be that guy, who needs to be what. So we're getting a delay here.
And Reynolds at the front of the field now, though. And it's Roberts, Feemster, Fetterplace top 4. So Fetterplace lost some spots on pit lane. And everyone took tires there. Michelle, Withers, Wright, Wanzing, Markowski, George, top 10. Oberstadt, Sears, and Leiter, top 13. Then a whole contingency of cars that'll be at the very back of the field. Again, we are past the halfway point. Stage 3 incoming.
Choose gonna happen here. See how everyone picks. Obviously, highlighting going to be the favorite. Reynolds and Roberts going to go high at Theme, so going to challenge his luck here. Thinks he can get a move here on the low side. He'll be joined by Feather Place. Then obviously Wanzi going to eat up here as a lot of cars went high. He's going to be the next car on the inside line here behind Feather Place. Take a second to like get this all sorted here, but it's going to be Reynolds, Feemster, row 1. Roberts, Feather Place, row 2. Michelle, Wanzing, row number 3. Withers, Oberstadt, row 4. And Wright, Briley Wright, and Tom Sears will be row 5. There's Donald Ray taking pit stop here. Maybe coming in the top off. Yeah, top off. Go a little extra longer, just in case.
Not a bad decision to make. Reynolds, Feemster, Roberts, Feather Place, top 4. Michelle, Wanzing, top 6. Withers, Oberstadt, top 8. Pace car pulls in. And stage 3 here in Michigan is underway. Green flags in the air. Reynolds got a good launch there, as did Bren Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
It's the highest Feemster's run all day. Cody Riggs got loose off of turn 2. He's on the apron.
Yep. A little less smoke there. He'll pull it back up. But obviously he'll lose a lot of time here. Teams are going to slot in the third. Going to challenge here for second in the preferred line. Tommy Reynolds' name has not led much of all today.
This is actually his first lap sled today.
Yep. He's been in that top pack on lap 1, but never actually led. This will be his first lap led. Roberts, Feemster battling for second. Then you got Wanzing, and they haven't said much in stage 2 because he was basically, after the incident in 1, looking to try to get back in this top 5.
Feemster chasing the draft there by Reynolds. As Roberts drops down further more and more. That's Briley Wright, the 8, going on the outside of him, and then Oberstadt in the 38. Making out like a bandit.
Mm-hmm. God, look how low Michelle's going right there. He was on that dog.
And Wanzing.
Yeah, they were on that dog leg as soon as they could.
Both of them trying to get around Kevin Feemster, and they will.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise, Withers moving forward as well.
Yep.
Again, all 24 cars, 23 cars on the lead lap. Catania a lap down.
Yep. Only car 1 down at the moment. There's Gaiman going to come up and clear Withers.
Gaiman had to start from near the back of the field due to the penalty.
Emergency service.
So he's going to make it back up to 8th place. You'll see a lot of drivers trying to make some moves here early on. It's Reynolds at the front of the field by a second over Michelle and Wanzing, who have gotten the second and third. Sears and Withers battling there for P9. Out of Brent Roberts, Mike LaJoy, and Matthew Leiter.
Yeah, again, a lot of these cars just fighting for their window, trying to find a spot, really make it work. Their fireplace gets a little loose there. He'll get it saved out and cleaned out. He'll just lose a spot with Sears here. But could be no pressure here from Withers in question as he'll drop down the outside top 10. Well, there goes a car around. That is the 48 of Menkowski, and that will be the caution. I don't think he got anyone else in contact, but you could just see in that shot there, he got spun the wrong way around. That Kent State machine. Looks like it was a mad scramble. Again, we'll see here on the replay if he hits anything else. But
Oh, he got tagged by Leiter. You see down the back straightaway here. Light on the 83, that Trevor Project machine. Yeah, he just tries slotting in there. I'm not sure if he's trying to side draft or not. Let's see if we can go on board with Leiter here. Now he's definitely not trying to slide him behind.
Yeah,
he's got way too much overlap there.
Yeah, there's no way you clear that.
Yeah, he just straight up hooks Markowski there. Not the first time I've seen Leiter do that to somebody, trying to side draft him.
Yeah.
I'll see from
The
Markowski.
scramble here, you'll see the spin here. Garrison and then George try to squeak by here. We'll see if he hits anything. But you can see here, he's just riding along and yeah, just nowhere to go. And then comes up here. Oh, Garrison almost hits him. George also sneaks by. Could have been a lot worse for those two, but luckily, no major hits. Luckily, the caution was called there because that could have been a lot worse. Some cars will come on down. It's still a bit too early to make it to the finish here. You get to 92, 95, but it could be savable if we get another caution. Could be stretchable another couple laps here. So it makes me wonder if these cars coming in, Matthew Leiter, Josh Garrison, James Kerr, Dale Milkowski, Donald Wright, Alfred George, Richie Catania. It's not probably going to make it. You're still going to be 5-ish laps short, but one more caution, you could maybe get track position and maybe make something happen.
Unfortunately for Markowski, a lot of work to do, and that does put Catania on the lead lap. Catania with the free pass. First caution really outside of the stage break. Obviously the first stage ended early, but it's still ended the stage. This is the first one that's kind of independent of stage breaks here. It'll be Reynolds, Michelle, Wanzing, Feemster, Wright, and Oberstadt top 6.
Yeah. It was a bailout for Catania as it really allowed him to get buckled back up here before anything major
Yeah, he's
happened.
been top 5 pace all race long. He just kind of got caught out there with the emergency service.
So choose here in effect. You're going to see Reynolds and Michelle go high. Wanzing going to be the first car to elect to go low here, along with Kevin Feemster. There's a long gap to the next car that picks it. It is Tommy Withers, who's going to jump up to the third car on the inside line. So first three, Wanzing, Reynolds, Michelle, Feemster, Briley Wright, Tommy Withers, Oberstadt, Feemster, and Gaiman and Feather Place, I believe, is going to be the next car that slots in. Yes, he will. That will be your top 10 here. After that, let's see how it all shakes out. Inside line's been a risky line. We saw Fontana and other places. Not the line you want to use, but if you're far enough back, it could maybe get you that track position. And for quick caution, where to ring, or if you could find a hole, you can maybe gain some spots in the long term.
Reynolds wanting Michelle, Feemster top 4. So we're ready to go. Pace car pulls in for the 3rd restart of the night. To the restart zone, green flag back in the air, and away we go. Away goes Reynolds, another good restart for him. Did not lead a lap until the start of stage 3. And now, it's going to be a struggle to get him off that race lead.
Yeah, now it's up to that inside line to really try to make a move here to get up, find a hole, and try to gain as much as he can. You can see those holes going quickly. Ospel just taps the wall there just a little bit. Wanzi's going to have a bit of a hole here that he can take if he wants. Feemster not going to be as lucky. Michelle can actually come down and maybe help that 9 just a tad. And Wanzi is going to come on up right in front of Briley Wright. So Wanzi makes it a net gain. Feemster also could have an opportunity here to kind of stop the bleeding. Make it a net gain for both drivers.
Speedway further back. It's Gaiman, Feemster, and Oberstadt. Gaiman in the 61, Oberstadt in the 38. It's going to end up making like a bandit here as Gaiman has to drop down from those 2 spots.
Yep.
Was trying to make something happen, and now under threat from Mike LaJoy in the 88 as we look from right above in the spotter stand. The caution's
we got
out.
a caution. Ryan Pinnell, I think, is the fight, the problem here. And it may have been Matthew Leiter in turn.
Oh, dear.
And I think Cody Riggs as well was involved, but he was there as well. Ooh.
This is not going to be pretty. Yeah, it looks like it might be a little bit of ping pong here. See if we can go to the chopper cam. Right now on the inside lane, that 12 machine. After winning last night, was hoping to do well tonight as well, but this is going to be really painful. Leiter tries to stay off of Cody Riggs.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Pinnell tried to come up there. Leiter was still technically there, and then a little ping pong happened. So I look at it like Ryan Pinnell, you could say, doesn't like being hooked. Yeah, nowhere for Garrison to go, but there was nowhere for Leiter to do there. He kind of held it and just, yeah. Yeah, just looking at Ryan Pinnell as I was watching live action, Ryan Pinnell just gave Matthew Leiter a little tap there of anger. You see, that's why he's up the racing surface.
I think if you look back, I think when he looks back at that, he'll kind of realize that kind of was on him, forcing a 3-wide situation and trying to clear himself.
Yeah, probably not gonna be happy with that, but yeah, you can see some frustration. And obviously he thinks right now at the moment A3 was the problem with that. So regardless, more cars gonna pit here. Some cars staying out, and this is gonna get interesting because we are gonna go back green on lap 69. If we assume 30 laps is the absolute latest you can push it, it's doable to hit it, but you may be sputtering if we don't get another caution. So if your car has not pitted yet, last pit on 52, which is Reynolds, Michelle, Wanzing, Wright, it's everyone up till P12 with Cody Riggs. You're not making it. You have to pit again. Then you got 3 cars stayed out, Kerr, Ray, and Markowski last pit on 61. We didn't go green to 64, 65. I said back then on that last caution, there was a chance that it's 5 laps, you have to find a way to make up. And at the very least, they're going to save another lap here at the very least. Is it enough to get to the match at lap 70? I don't think so as well. Now you got these cars here of Sears, Marshall, Wright, Withers, Leiter, Garrison, Ryan Pinnell, Alfred George, all coming in and getting some service. Their chances of hitting the magical 30 number is a lot more reasonable, as we're going to get shoes this time by, and we're going to go on lap 69, and you got to find to make it 32 laps. And we saw that cars were able to make it 32 laps at the bare maximum under the last stage. So I think if we go green, there's a chance that these cars here pitting on lap 66, they could make it to the end. they could make it. We see a few extra cars here coming down for a quick service to top off, including Wright, Withers, Sears again. So they're topping off here one more time and giving that one extra lap. And I think they're they're going to go for hoping for a caution-free race to try to make it to the end here. But obviously, let's see how that all plays out, as the choose was just happening while I was rambling. Right there, it's Reynolds and Sears row 1, Michelle Oberstadt going to be row 2, row 3 is going to be Wright and Feemster, 4 is going to be Gaiman and LaJoy, and row 5 is going to be Off Spinell and Brandon Featherplace. But I'm saying I'm keep an eye on these cars that pitted on 66 and 67, because I think there's a chance that if we go green flag, they may try to push it to the finish.
So here we go with the fourth restart of the night. Reynolds and Wanzing. We've seen this battle start up before. Once again at the front of the field, that's Michelle and Oberstadt. Wright and Feemster top 6. Coming to 32 laps to go.
Mm-hmm.
Pace car pulls in as they approach the restart zone. Green flag is in the air, and away we go. All 24 cars still on the lead lap.
Again, it's going to be interesting how it shakes up here. Little racy in the back there. Featherplace almost kind of clips into LaJoy. Luckily, they keep it straight, they keep it clean, they keep it green. Well, you can see gloves coming off here. We saw it at Fontana on some other tracks where they got racy late on, and it was just how they race. It just, every driver not giving an inch, especially with the playoffs coming close to the end here, no driver's going to give an inch.
Gamester en route for what could be his best finish in this series. Right now sitting in 4th at the moment as Bradley Wright tags the wall just a smidge. So did his teammate Cody Riggs, who's down in 12th.
Yeah.
There's Donald Ray, haven't said his name much since stage 1, but he's making his way forward.
ISO the drivers that pitted on 61. And a driver that's in a must-win situation. Like I said, right now, if I'm a car that's in that backpack right now, I'm hoping this thing does not have another caution here. We see it go green from here to finish.
Oh,
we also know that
and Bradley Wright together.
Yep. They'll keep it straight, though.
And Galen right behind all of that. Watching these two fight it out.
And remember, Bradley Wright's a driver right now. He needs a good finish with no cars behind the wall. If he ends up having an accident, if they end up having an accident, that's going to help Emma Kruger immensely, as she's only 10 points ahead. Bradley Wright needs to finish strong to take back in that top 16. And with Emma Kruger presumably going to be here the next 3 races, and 2 of them, those tracks being in her wheelhouse of road courses, and obviously a plate race, she could be a threat at those 3 tracks. So this is a good chance to solemnize a point lead here and then try to hold on. It's like a bucking bronco.
Beamster trying to slot in, but that outside lane is nose to tail. And he just turned LaJoy.
Oh, he did. Keeps it straight, but caution going to be called.
Markowski.
Markowski couldn't find a hole. Wanzi was able to go around in the front place while that actually was happening, by the way. But, they were racing hard there. You knew it was happening. And that's going to take fuel strategy out the window here. Everyone's coming in to top off.
Obviously, Markowski, a huge amount of damage on the 48 machine.
Yeah, you can see the hood fly off there.
Not just the hood, that entire right front fender's gone, and that tire is completely done too. Luckily come to a stop here.
Yeah. Oh, he's gonna have to reverse it
Yeah,
there.
he had no brakes there. He's gonna use his fast repair, luckily. And the great part about it, he's just gonna start at the rear of the field.
Yep.
So he's fortunately been bailed out by that. Being able to come down, knows what the penalty is for that. Obviously, we saw that at the end of stage 2, that coming in early for emergency service, which that technically classify as, just moves to the back of the field. For Markowski, he was already going to be there. So,
Yeah.
no serious loss.
Nope.
So look at that. Beamster turned LaJoy.
I just want to point something out. Tommy Reynolds did not pit there. But we'll deal with that in a second. Let's look at the replay first.
Yeah, we'll talk about Reynolds staying out because he's not the only one. Overstat and Donald Ray did the exact same thing.
Yep. But yeah, we'll take a look at the replay first.
So here's LaJoy in the 88. Again, Feimster in the 21 to his left. Yeah, Feimster just tried slotting into a hole, and it did the same thing that Leiter did to Markowski.
And it's similar to the Markowski incident. Markowski was able to avoid everything in his spin. That time, there was nowhere for, weirdly enough, Markowski to go, and right into the 88 of Michael Joy.
I see a huge race off pit lane.
Yeah, very important. Wanzing took the lead. But the reason I bring that up, though, is that, remember, Tommy Reynolds did not pit. Reynolds and Oberstadt didn't pit. They've last pit on 52. Presumably, if you pit now, bearing green, white, checkered, you should be able to make it. That's 27 laps. So either Reynolds, Oberstadt don't think they got the fuel to make it. Donald Ray obviously last pit on 61. I think that's a stretch for even him to consider making it. But
yeah, that's 40 laps to try to make it to the end. You needed several cautions to do that. Granted, we've gotten 2, so it's possible.
The green flags have helped. The cautions helped him a little bit, but I don't know if he'll have to probably clutch and save. Then you got Marshall, Catani just came in for fuel. They topped off. They'll get track position over Wanzing and the rest. So, yeah, I'm looking to scratch my head at this Reynolds and Oberstadt move. They have to pit again.
Yep.
And they're not pitting here, so this is very odd. Unless they got a number in the economy book that I'm not seeing. Yeah, because even Michelle, George, Feimster, Wright, Brian Pennell, Michael Joy, Malkowski, all coming in against, and they don't even feel comfortable they can make it to the end thinking green, white, checkers. So, yeah, unless they're betting on another, there'll be another caution. They don't think it's going to finish here under green. At least that is my theory at the moment. Anyway, shoes just happened there. Reynolds, outside line. Marshall will line up in the front row. Marshall, a driver that needs a win here. Then you got Oberstadt and Catania. Catania part-time. Oberstadt has a win at Talladega. Next up, Donald Ray, Seth Wanzing. Wanzing in the top 16, but a win without a win. Donald Ray, a driver that's outside, would need a win as well. Austin Pinnell and David Wright would be the next row. Austin Pinnell needs a win, but currently in the top 16, so he's fine. David Wright won last week at Richmond, and he's locked in. And then Brent Roberts and Tommy Withers, Withers both have won, both in the playoffs. So this is going to be interesting. Multiple different strategies here in this row. Some with fresh tires, some that pitted on the previous stop with slightly worn tires, maybe 2 laps. And then you got Reynolds, Oberstadt, who have last pitted on 52, old rubber, and have to make at least one more stop. These next 25 laps are going to be interesting. So pace car going to come on in.
Green flag in the air.
Oberstadt does not get going. Ray does not get going as well. That's going to allow some opportunity to jump up the high line if you so choose. Like Marshall and Catania both can go up high if they do. Ray going to try to hold off the charge here from Gaiman. It's about finding your footing and trying to avoid the hornet's nest. Catania going to go high. Marshall as well. So that slow down move by Ray is going to allow the 2 cars on the inside line to make out like bandits and make a net gain. Yeah, Reynolds is driving away here from second. Oberstadt under pressure here from Edward Marshall. Single file pretty much all the way to 13th. Now they're going to jump down a little bit here and get some raciness going. The top 3 is Bandit, B-Tron, Line Power, and then another Line Power, and then another B-Tron. That is your top 5 at the moment. Tommy Reynolds just pulling away here, getting the distance he needs. But with one stop still on the horizon, he won't be having that for as long as he likes.
Reynolds pulling an 8/10 gap over Oberstadt, Gaiman, and Catania.
To ask your Dogman's question, I'm not 100% if fuel savings going on, maybe for Green White Checkers, but we know 30 is the limit. Came in with 27 to go, so they should be good. But we saw Oberstadt and Garrison pit within 20, so there may be a little bit of saving, but obviously Reynolds has no reason to save. He's going flat out here. And we have another caution here. Spinning cars, it's Riggs and Wet. Oh, there's a lot on the backstretch here. 3 cars, Riggs on the hard inside. There's Tommy Withers. And there's Alfred George and Kevin Feemster. Oh. And one more thing, just to kind of report, Tommy Reynolds on the radio, praising whatever it be, that he is happy that a caution just came out. He knew that he would have to pit one more time, and he's going to get his chance to pit here. But downside is he'll be farther back. So take a look here to see what happened.
Like it bounced off the wall.
Yeah. Very chaotic there. Very hard to tell from that angle too. But it ends up, Riggs feels like he got the worst of it in that situation.
This is a little further
There's
back
another one.
here.
You can already see some pieces kind of falling. There's Feemster, 49 on the cut line. Not need to be involved in anything major.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. Played in slow motion. Looks like Withers tags the wall first.
Mm-hmm.
Riggs
Sends it
tags the
right
wall
in the
behind
rig.
him.
And then the 83 lighter gets a little loose.
Yeah, also,
Bright
it
tries
also is
to-
behind Lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bradley Wright hooked his teammate there, Cody Riggs, who got in the Kerr, who turned.
Withers, who then you can
Got
see right
Garrison.
there. Garrison tried to sneak through, couldn't do it. He goes up. Believe Michelle will get through safely here. Yeah, he
Michelle
will.
does.
Feemster not so lucky.
Brian Pinnell split the middle.
Yep.
Something happened to teammates here for
Presidential
George.
Racing.
Yeah, for George and Feemster to be involved. Oh, that was George trying to get through.
Oh, he didn't see the 21. So that explains what happened to Feemster.
And then
Oh, and then... Gosh, there's nowhere to go either. Oh. You hate to see it. But anyway, we'll recycle here. Obviously, 20 to go. If you pitted now, you're good. That tank, you're good on. So, Josh Gaiman came out first. He came in, topped off their 2 tires. Reynolds, Withers, Ray, Garrison, Oberstadt, Alfred George, Cody Riggs, Kevin Feemster, James Kerr, all came on lap 80 here. All are still running. Some differing levels of stops here. Some took 2, some few only, all that. But first, all the way down to 14th, all stayed out. They pitted on lap 74, so you got a situation, if you will. All cars are good to go for fuel. Green White Checkers could raise a question mark, but if we get multiple cautions here, it's not that big of a deal. Tire advantage favors the cars to pit on 80, but tire wear is important. But with only a 6-lap difference, I don't think it's going to be as a threat right away. We may see a threat later, but that pays off Josh Garrison coming back in. Maybe to quickly fix up some last-minute damage here, or maybe even top off. Choose happening in effect right now. And up front, it's Marshall and Ospinel 1-2. Richie Catania, Seth Wanzing the next row. Feather place right. Sears is going to be joined by, I believe that is Brenner or Roberts. And then Matthew Leiter and Michael Joy will make up the first 5 rows. Edward Marshall, a driver that needs a win. He is currently on the outside. He cannot point his way in. If he wants to make the playoffs and contend, He needs the win. Ospinel, driver that could use a win as well, in the top 16, but a win would surely lock him in, and at the very least would make sure he doesn't have to worry about if four of different winners and get bounced out. Then you got Catania, part-time driver for Line Power, looking to get a good points finish here and get Line Power closer to Sunday Monday Racing. Seth Wan, speaking of Sunday Monday Racing, Seth Wansing, currently the highest driver in on points, looking to get a win to get that monkey off his back and ensure he gets in the playoffs. Feather place points leader, obviously in the playoffs. David Wright won last year at Richmond, doesn't have to worry. Sears won at Atlanta, looking to get a finish for Line Power. Brent Roberts won at Nashville, doesn't need to worry. And then Leiter and LaJoy both need wins to get in. That's how the top 10 look via playoffs at the moment. Marshall controls his own destiny at the moment. Could be a spoiler and maybe even hurt Emma Cruz's chances a bit if he wins. Pace car going to pull on off here. 19 to go. Two different strategies. Green flag is out, and away we go. Good launch there by the 16. 32 does not get going, and that's going to allow multiple cars on the outside line to clear here. Wansing going to quickly jump up and try to get around that 32. Mike LaJoy, big move there. Farther back. They're going to be a 3 wide here off corner.
Leiter got clear of, I believe, that was the 42 of David Wright. It was.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's settling down a little bit as they head through 3 and 4 before fanning out once more. 3 wide there. Bradley on the outside, trying to make his way back forward.
$17 to go. It's a 1-2-3 for Lion Power. Tom Sears trying to make it maybe a 4 for 4 here. Oh, Osamel with a good clear. Wanzing touches feather place. They're still focusing on right here. I'm keeping an eye on this front battle. You're keeping an eye on this mid-pack battle. There are two major situations. Gloves are coming off. No love lost between these drivers. Checkers and wreckers and some of their ideologies. Not the best ideology to have in a league race, but they're looking to get that win. 16 to go.
Keep an eye on Tom Sears, the 14 on the outside lane, trying to charge forward. We've seen him be pretty bold this weekend already. It was pretty bold last night in the Saturday Night Showdown season opener at Daytona.
Wanzing knows how important that high line is.
Yes.
Ospinel keeping him pinched low there. He cannot even go low if he wants to. Wanzing running that third groove there. He's making sure he gets a fender in and then blocks it off.
Whoa, there, Catania checked up.
Yeah, Catania checked up. That allowed Ospinel takes second. Wanzing going to be fighting for third. That's the downside of running the super high line. If a car checks up, there's less real estate to move. 15 to go. Top 3 all without wins so far this season. Actually, you can say top 4 with Catania on a part-time schedule.
Top 4 and
Marshall,
5 out of 6.
Yeah. Some this win's going to be more than others, but all looking for one.
And something kind of important, a little caveat to this. Say someone like Catania does win and ends up going full-time, they're suddenly playoff bound.
Yes, and remember that the cutoff line is after Indy Road Course. So if a team took a chance, Catania got souped away, they could have a full-time driver in the playoffs. And
Look at Leiter.
Yes.
Leiter charging forward, trying to go 3 wide there on Tom Sears. There's Damon coming outside as well.
This is basically like I noticed when we watched the qualifying. Times are close. These cars are fast. Reynolds is in this throw too. You got the top 12 all under this blanket, and Ryan Pinnell sitting at 13th, just like hoping he takes the James Busher approach here, and just hoping mass chaos happens and he can reap the rewards.
This has turned into a Daytona race.
Yes.
Is what it has turned into. Seth Wansing in the race lead with 13 laps to go. You look at drivers with the freshest tires, Gaiman and Reynolds has trouble. There's Leiter. He gets turned into Gaiman, and Reynolds gets a piece of it as well. And caution's out for the 7th time tonight.
Oh, Ryan Pinnell, they got a piece there too.
Yeah.
Oh, you could see it. He went low for a move, the block, and I don't know if it was a block. I'll have to look at it again. But you can see 2 cars going low, and it just didn't work. Yeah, Markowski was involved in it again. That may be curtains for that 48. Gaiman. Take a look here again.
What
Was
happens
it Lighter
here?
making a block?
I don't know if it's Lighter
Or is-
making a block because that's the 25 of Michelle, who's already to the inside. I don't know.
What happened? Yeah.
No, Michelle came up.
Michelle came up. Okay, so apologies to Lighter on that bad call
Yeah,
there.
that wasn't on Michelle. That wasn't on Lighter that time. Lighter was in the middle. Michelle came up trying to arc for the corner, and it just did not pan out. Markowski's race is over. Gaiman's race is over.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for Tommy Reynolds, nowhere he can go in all of this.
Gaiman thought, Reynolds thought he kind of bit the bullet there, getting that caution, but ends up being in the thick of things, nowhere to go. Luckily, it could have been worse.
Could have been way worse, yeah.
Main
And
damage is
that's where
throwing in the wall.
Markowski got part of it. It wasn't Benel, it was
Yeah.
Markowski.
Yeah, okay. I saw, black and yellow machine, but it was Markowski. All right. Yeah, some drivers not happy. Obviously, it is what it is. We'll take a look at Lighter's perspective here.
Yeah,
He's in a must-win.
Lighter's holding steady until he gets turned.
Yeah.
Nothing that Lighter can do there. He's just kind of in the middle, kind of at the mercy of everyone around him.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunate there for the 83 machine, who's still rolling. Unlike that of Josh Gaiman, who, as we jump on that board with him, is already turned around, and this is all technically behind him. He sees the 83 get turned to the left. All he can do is stay behind Sears, and then just that entire back side of that car is completely smashed in.
Mm-hmm. So now it gets interesting. Yeah, Gaiman's just pulled behind the wall. His day is done.
Yeah, his day is completely over.
Same thing with Dale Markowski, obviously. Fast repair and towed. Some cars did pit there. Roberts, Lighter, Ospinel, Sears, Wright, Feemster, Withers, Garrison, George, Reynolds, Gaiman, Markowski. Obviously some pitting for damage. A few came in the top off on fuel, including Roberts, Pennell, and Sears. Ospinel was in second, and I think third at the time of the caution, and he gave that away thinking there may be more. So it raises the next question on the list. If you're a car that pitted on 73, 74, do you pit now and think we don't? Because we've seen the trends right now. We've seen a lot of cautions occur. Do you think, and how racy it was, do you think we're going to get another 9 laps when we get going at green again?
No.
Clean? Or you don't think so, but that's the question mark. For the cars that stayed out, you're thinking that's the case. Because right now, the driver that's the high, like if you look at the cars that pitted on 80, you got Oberstadt, Ray, Riggs, Kerr, the first 4, and they are 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th respectively. Obviously, we'll see when the choose count happens here. And looking at that list of 4, 2 of those 4 need wins. The other 2, actually, Cody Riggs, Ray, and Kerr all need wins. Oberstadt doesn't. Brian Roberts obviously on that list. So 3 out of 4 need wins. My mistake. But this is going to get interesting. Wanzi obviously going to go high. Marshall's going to go high. Third place going to go low. Everyone out, next 5 cars in line going to go all high. So who, I think Ryan Pennell is going to be the next one that jumps in low here on a screenshot here. It is going to be Ryan Pennell. So Ryan Pennell going to step up to the plate. He thinks he can master the waves. And then it's going to be Mike LaJoy, I believe, next, and Donald Ray. So 5 rows are going to be Wanzing and Feather Place, Marshall and Pennell, Ryan Pennell, I should say, Mike LaJoy, and wait, sorry, let me try one more time. Wanzing, Feather Place, first row. LaJoy and Pennell, Ryan Pennell, second row. Then you got Stefan Oberstadt, and in row number 3, he'll be joined by Donald Ray, Catania, and Michelle, and then some combination in the back there with 75 James Kerr and Riley Wright. So this is going to be interesting. Looking at this top 5, LaJoy, Marshall need wins to get in the playoffs. Ryan Pennell in the top 16 at the moment, but he is also kind of in by a little bit less comfortably, only 6-7 points. A win would ease those troubles. Feather Place leads to points, doesn't need to worry about winning here. Seth Wanzing, 215 on the cut line. A win would just ensure that he doesn't have to point his way in.
His car pulls in.
Buckle those seatbelts. This is going to get racy.
Wanzing, Feather Place, Marshall and Pennell, front of the field. Away we go. Green
there.
flag underway.
Feather Place did not get going. Marshall and the outside line did.
Everyone coming out of turn 2. A little bit of contact with the wall with Kevin Feemster as everyone fans out behind. 9 laps to go, coming to 8 to go at the line. Everyone getting warmed up here. Tires getting back up to temperature. LaJoy looking for third.
Ryan Pinnell trying to sneak a top 5 here. He said he was feeling good after what happened last night.
And now sitting top 5. A really good night for him so far. And a night where a lot of those around him in the cut line have had really bad races so far. He's had a really good one as he looks for 4th place on Mike LaJoy.
Yep, it'll give him some breathing room. Only 6-7 above the cut line, which will be Briley right. It'll give him a little bit more cushion.
Oberstadt already in, but looking for a good result here. One of the last ovals of the season before Daytona.
It raises one more question, too. Obviously, don't want to say manipulation or anything, but I'm looking at 2-3 right now. If Marshall can get around...
Whoa, look up for the behind. Sorry to cut you off there.
what-
Donald Ray got bumped out of the way, and it is a madhouse outside the top 10.
Yeah, that was almost a playing card between that wall and connecting
It was
there.
almost 4 wide down the back straightaway.
Yeah. Oh, God, this is not what you want to see if you're up front right now. You want this to stay
No,
clean
it is
right
not.
now.
You want it to stay clean. You want it to let's stay at least marginally okay. That's Catania and Wright that almost got together.
Yeah.
Feemster just put lighter in the wall. They kept it straight, but Feemster just once again involved with lighter.
Yeah, they're not avoiding each other these past
No,
couple
they're
laps.
not. And Leiter's going to try to get back to that quarter panel. There may be some extracurricular activities going on with that 83 and the 21. If things go as they are, trouble behind. That is David Wright.
Caution.
David Wright, and I believe that was Josh Garrison that had a piece of it.
Yep, I believe that was too. Oh.
We're going to
how they were
have
racing-
an overtime finish.
No, we're only at 6 to go. We should be okay because 5-4-3. So we'll have a non-green, white checkered, green, white checkered.
Well, they'd have to shorten the caution because 10 of these will car a lap down now.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to have a green white checker. This is going to be an overtime finish. Overtime attempt. Because
Hey,
there's 3 laps if everyone's on the lead lap, but because Reynolds and Markowski are still on pit lane, they're off the lead lap, so it's going to add that extra lap for lap cars.
Got it. All right, yeah. Hey,
So
I should argue
that
against
kind
you.
of bails out Wanzing a little bit. Because
Yeah,
that means that he's at a point now, all he has to do is complete a full lap.
I think he's also in a weird situation too, though, because he was actually smooth sailing away from Marshall in third place. You've just kind of kicked the hornet's nest, though. It's good in a sense, but bad in a sense. But we'll take a look at the replay first, then talk about logistics. And you can just see in the back, Wright looks like he may have tried to clear Alfred George or something happened there.
Yeah, we'll see exactly what happened here.
They're side by side.
Wright's going to have a move here on Alfred George, who's just really tight.
Oh, yeah, no, that's nothing Wright did wrong. That's Alfred George.
That's not Josh Garrison at all either. Garrison was behind all that. He got clear of it, thankfully. So luckily David Wright won last week at Richmond. So kind of still stress-free there, just frustrated there that he got turned by Elrich George, who he gave half the track with to.
All right.
So we made a poll in the channel that is already kind of voted, the time's already gone through. 90% said yes to overtime finish. For those that voted yes, you won. Pat yourself on the back.
I was optimistic. I voted no. I was the one to vote for no. I was optimistic.
Fool.
Look, you got the pessimistic, I got the optimism. Someone's got to keep optimism in this booth.
I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic that we're going to see at least 2 green-white checkers.
I'm optimistic. I think we won't see one. I think we'll see the only first attempt, and that will be it. I think they can get 2 clean laps.
It's very interesting because the tires, the more that these tires wear, the easier it is to get them up to temperature, and that's kind of how we've had that reprieve the first couple laps, is because the tires have been cold. But now they're going to heat up a lot quicker now.
True. Looking in the chat, we do got some predictions. We got someone rooting for Overstadt to win here. I know probably Dogman's, I think, pulling for Wanzing, if I was not mistaken.
Pinnell.
On that one. Ryan Pinnell, thank you.
Who right now sitting in 4th place, doing a really good job so far.
Pinnell and Wanzing, so half correct.
And Withers, anyone that's raced for Team 7 Motorsports and HTL.
Yeah. So this is going to get interesting. Looking at this top 5, Wanzing doesn't really need the win. He'll probably point his way in, but a win would definitely give him momentum going into the playoffs if he were to win. Edward Marshall needs a win. Feather Place, current points leader, doesn't need a win. Could maybe even help Marshall if necessary. Ryan Pennell, 4th. In 6-7 points to cut the cut line. Would love to kind of breathe the last 3 weeks easily. Would not need to worry about it.
Especially with road courses coming up. He's going to go to the inside lane here, so he'll be the second in line on the bottom.
Mm-hmm. So it's going to be Wanzing and Feather Place, row number 1. And it's going to then be Pennell and Marshall, row 2. And then third car in line, I think that is going to be Briley Wright. It's going to jump up here to row 3 with Mike LaJoy. 4 is going to be Sears and Oberstadt. 5 is going to be Michelle and Feemster.
It's going to be a wild time.
Wanzing is going to get the jump he needs, but the question is, can he... Ugh. This is going to be interesting. It's going to be wild. I think you're correct.
The question is if Marshall can hold on for 2 laps to make it to him.
Yeah.
Because Marshall's going to have the advantage over his teammate there, because Feather Place, we've seen so far that inside lane has just not been on restarts at all. And Feather Place has been on the inside lane, leading that lane the last couple restarts, and he has been skunked so hard.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if he can game this a little bit. But for Ryan Pennell, he needs to figure out if he can get between Marshall and LaJoy as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Because his best bet is not the inside lane. He's on the inside lane trying to get track position here. But as far as like trying to make passes happen, the outside lane's going to be where it's at, I think.
Yeah, because if he stayed on the outside line, he'd be currently 4th from the outside line, 2nd the inside line. He likes his odds to get up before it doesn't
he
get
would have
down.
been 3rd because he was 4th already.
Yeah.
But yeah, very interesting position here. Anyway, pace car is in. We are at overtime. Green flag is in the air, and away we go.
Marshall gets going. Ryan Pennell going to try to not get going here. He's going to actually get pushed by Briley Wright. Feather Place going to jump up in the 3rd.
2 laps to go. White flag ends the race. Marshall got a good run. Feather Place got a decent jump start there. Brian Pennell, as we expected, inside lane did not go. He will slide on the outside behind Briley Wright.
Feather Place may be an assistance, but I don't know how much help Feather Place can really provide Marshall.
Not a whole lot. You see this gaggle of cars 4 wide through 3 and 4. Do they make it across the line?
They're going to.
Seth Wanzing takes the white flag. 1 lap to go here at Michigan.
Wanzing, Marshall, Feather Place, LaJoy, Wright. That's your top 5.
Ryan Pennell search the inside lane. Net code.
He just spun. Yeah, net code. Hard in the wall.
Huge
Caution
net
will not be
code.
called. That's not good for Briley Wright for starters, as he was on the bubble.
Ryan Pennell net code at the worst possible time. He's going to drop positions as well. It's a battle between teammates for second. Seth Wanzing is going to break the golden goose. The monkey's going to be off his back. Seth Wanzing is back to victory lane. The winless streak is over at Michigan.
You know he's going to be happy about that when he said Sunday Monday Racing was fast coming into the weekend. And he got the win.
First and
After
fifth.
how much commodity lap 1 had, he brings it home. This may not be the last time we see that Miller Lite scheme either. It broke the winless streak, so maybe we'll see it again.
Feather Place and Marshall 2nd and 3rd for line power. LaJoy 4th, Roberts 5th, Ryan Pennell finished 6th, Feemster 7th, Stephen Oberstadt in 8th, Matthew Leiter 9th, ahead of David Wright in the top 10.
Yeah, a little bit of a love tap there. Yeah, Wanzing's going to burn that down.
100% going to burn it down. A great job for Wanzing, race winner for the first time this season, first time since Nashville last year, over a year in waiting. You're going to see it here. 2-time series champion, back to victory lane. And his ticket officially punched in to the round of 16, beginning in 3 weeks.
And it also makes it a little bit easier because if a driver, he was already in the top 16. So in that element, he basically 1 extra spot, the point in is now still open. So basically right now, Wanzing's not going to be the driver that points his way in most likely. It opens the door for either Austin Pennell or even Ryan Pennell to get that point in if necessary. So Wanzen gonna burn it down, gonna get those points he needs to the playoffs. Maybe now be a threat for the playoffs. But it feels good for that 9. He even said, told me privately, that he knows that win was coming. He felt it, and now it's happened. Seth Wanzen, your winner. He's gonna go that engine lets down.
See this? You see the engine smoke? It is already overheating here, and there it goes. But a race winner tonight. Phenomenal job.
So do not go anywhere. We do have the top 3 interviews coming up if we can get them with Wanzing, Featherplace, and Edward Marshall. Coming up in a bit.
I see some people are going to be wanting to talk to. Obviously, the hall is going to be a little bit busy tonight. We'll see if we can talk to our top 3 here. But a phenomenal job tonight. Actually, we'll start with the race winner. We'll start with Seth Wanzing. Race winner tonight here at Michigan. Hear what his thoughts are. Seth, this is Carmen from the ABM booth. Got a copy.
Hey, Carmen, I got you.
About time. The winless streak is finally over. A winner here at Michigan, officially in the playoffs, although it looked like it mathematically was going to be a certainty no matter what. A walk-off home run, as they would say, with 3 races left in the regular season. Now, you don't have to worry about Indy Road or Watkins Glen the way you were going to have to otherwise. How does it feel being back to victory lane for the first time in over a year?
Carmen, it feels awesome. I feel like I've been knocking at the door, second, third for so long, and it's just awesome to kind of get that monkey off my back and know I can, still win. And I mean, I know I can run up front, lead laps, and be in contention, but as good as ARCS is and as good as this league is, as you guys have seen throughout the year, it's so hard to grab one of these wins. And I feel like if I can just bust this door down, then a lot more will come. But I want to apologize to Edward Marshall there. I didn't want a door in there. I just wanted to be right on his quarter panel. I could make that bottom work, even during the week, during practice, a lot better. I don't know why, but it kind of suited me more. I wish it didn't give up such an advantage, or else I would have been running it almost the whole time like I did in the heats. But yeah, I just got into him a little too much when I was trying to get up on his right rear. So I know he's not the happiest with me, and he always races me clean, and we race each other clean, and I don't like contact like that. But yeah, Carmen, it feels fantastic. I didn't want that last caution. I didn't want to break out too many restart tricks, so I was hoping that last one we had was going to be the last one, because I had a few more, but a lot of guys had already seen them tonight with other guys. So it's nice that I didn't have to break the rest of those out, and just kind of, I knew if I could get set and sailed, and my car was really, really good. I knew that kind of driving back up through the field and in traffic. So it's just, like you said, it's nice to break a winless streak for sure.
Obviously, the last 3 races of the regular season are going to be a lot easier now that you get to go through without having to worry about getting a race win. You've got that win. You've got those bonus points for the race win. How easy does it make Indy Road and Watkins Glen, 2 road courses that, are going to be very difficult for different reasons? Indy Road, obviously, people either love it or hate it, and Watkins Glen, everyone knows it, and that gives a different challenge to it. How easy does it make those races for you as far as just the stress levels going into those races now?
I think I was plus 215 going into
thereabouts, yeah.
into tonight, so it wasn't going to be too stressful. I'm getting better and better on the road course races. I feel like I'm consistently running top 5 and top 10. So now it's focusing on, I can push some limits, and kind of try to get more speed out of the car. I love Watkins Glen. I know that's probably everybody's favorite road course, but there's some places through there, kind of from the bus stop on, that I am really, really good at I just got to get that first half of the track from turn 1 through the S's a little bit more shored up, especially the S's. But try to get some more speed through there and not back it up as much. But Indy Road, I don't think I ran terrible there last year, just with all the chaos and all the restarts that we had. Kind of got swept up in some of that stuff. But yeah, now it's just racking up points and playoff points. So try to do that as much as I can and put myself in a good spot for the playoffs and kind of maybe work my way. I can't get to Reynolds or Freda place. I don't think. I'd have to go on a tear and then not show up. But getting to that third or fourth spot in points, especially third, because I think it goes like 15, 10, 5 for regular season bonus points or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
So getting maybe those 5 extra playoff points would be pretty big.
Well, obviously tonight is a big night for Sunday Money Racing. You're back in Victory Lane. You join your teammates there, Brent Roberts and Danny Michelle, in Victory Lane tonight. Phenomenal effort as always there, Seth. Before we let you go, obviously a new scheme, probably a lucky scheme now, as we get to hopefully see that more and more as we get ready to head into the playoffs. But before we let you go, if there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, Seth, the floor is yours. Congratulations again on an amazing win. First one since Nashville last year. You're back and you're locked in for sure to the playoffs here in a few weeks.
Yeah, Carmen, thank you. That thing sure was pretty, wasn't it? Kevin Feemster did a good job. I'm going to go crack me a Miller Lite right now. Heck, maybe even have a high life. But, thank you to Sunday Money. And we're going to Donald's going to get himself a win and get himself in the playoffs, too. He's way too good not to, and we're going to help him make sure of that. And thank you to you and Kevin, who broadcast every week and put on such great broadcasts. Thank you to everyone that makes ARCS go. The list is long, and I know everybody thanks them every time. Everybody knows who that is, and everybody at ARCS does such an incredible job. Thank you to 213, and thank you to Midwest Barbecue. Thank you to everyone that tuned in tonight and just, been missed that month and a half or so, and repeatedly with some tough times in life. And thank you to my ARCS community and my iRacing community, as they were there, and whenever I was on, they helped me have a good time. So thank you to them and my friends and family. And this win means a lot, Carmen. It's nice to kind of bounce back from that and have something good go my way for once. So thank you.
Again, Seth, enjoy the race win, celebrate it, and relish in it. You're in the playoffs, once again a race winner here at Michigan. A phenomenal effort, phenomenal drive tonight, very consistent performance. We saw that was coming. Enjoy it, Seth. Congratulations.
Thank you, Carmen. Thank you, Kevin.
That was Seth Wansing, race winner here tonight. Phenomenal effort for Seth Wansing, the race winner. We have a couple more interviews to do here in our race tonight. We'll talk to the Line Power Motorsports teammates of Brandon Fetterplace and Edward Marshall, hear what they have to say. Obviously, they tried their best here tonight. Brandon, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
I sure do. How you doing?
Pretty good. Obviously, a little bit intense there, especially at the end. But good run of form. Teammates there second and third. You and Edward Marshall battling it out there for that podium spot there. Kind of just walked through your race. You were there. It seemed like it kind of just slipped away from your grasp with the last couple restarts.
Yeah, I felt like I had pretty good pace. I knew coming into this would probably be a fuel run race, and the tires kind of fell off a little bit more than what I was expecting. But all in all, pretty much as long as you stayed out of the wake, another car's wake, the draft, and you got a little air on the nose of the car, it turned and handled pretty well. So other than that, I mean, the set wasn't very good. I don't know what was wrong with the set tonight, but something was definitely off. And other than that, congrats to Wansing for the win.
Obviously, and you talk about how this has gone. Obviously, you've been in the playoffs already for a while now, having won earlier this season. Now it's all about, can you stack the deck and get all the line power in there? Obviously, Marshall was close the other night. He finished third and really had a really good run just overall in general in the top 5 all race long. These next 3 races, do you feel like line power's got a chance to sort of run the table here? Because it looks like it might be a little bit of a necessity to get, obviously, Emma back in. She fell out of the top 16 tonight, and obviously get Marshall in after him jumping in after the first 12 races.
Oh yeah, it's definitely doable. I have a lot of faith in line power. Our drivers here, we do what we have to do, and we make it happen. So Marshall, I felt like Marshall should have had that race tonight. He was used up a little bit by Wansing, but I don't think that really should have hindered the end of the race. But he's definitely going to be strong here, probably Daytona if I had to guess. And Emma, obviously, we all know Emma's very, very good at road courses. And we have 2 of those coming up. So I have tons of faith that both of them will get into the playoffs. And I'll just keep chugging along, trying to get as many points as I can to keep Reynolds behind me so I can at least get the regular season champion.
Well, so far, a good look at doing that tonight opened the gap a little bit more on Reynolds there, who did not have a good end of the race. Obviously, the next 2 races going to kind of put you in your wheelhouse. Obviously, Indy Road next week, and then the race you started your ABN win streak, your win column at Watkins Glen in 2 weeks. How are you feeling about those 2 races coming up personally for you as far as just your personal pace?
Oh, I definitely feel pretty comfortable. A lot of people don't like Indy. I like Indy. The only reason why is because it's very difficult. It's a track that you really have to be up on the wheel. You have to, kind of take care of your stuff. If you get out of the groove or, make a mistake, it's pretty easy to take yourself out of that race. So that one's going to be interesting. And Watkins Glen, I think that's probably the favorite road course for all the drivers, especially the ones that don't like road courses. I was just telling Marshall, I feel like that's the one that even if you don't like road courses, you don't mind racing Watkins Glen. So I feel pretty good about both of those. I'm not a big fan of Daytona. We all know this. Anyone who knows me knows I hate super speedways, but let's get as many points as we can before then, and we'll see what happens.
I see a good night tonight for line power. Really a much needed points rebound there after losing some points to Sunday Money Racing last week. Before we let you go, and obviously before we talk to Edward Marshall, your teammate there, if there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congratulations again, another podium this season here at Michigan.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks to Go Synergy for being on the car. Thanks to Line Power for having me, and obviously thanks to you, Carmen and Kevin, for the great broadcast. I can't wait to go back and watch it. And other than that, we'll see you next week.
Absolutely. Brandon Federer plays second place finisher tonight with 3 races to go in the regular season, trying to lock up that regular season championship and the bonus points that come with it. Brandon, congratulations, and we'll see you next Sunday at Indy.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you, too. That was Brandon Federer, our second place finisher here tonight. We'll talk to Edward Marshall here in just a moment as we get ready to go for the final interview here tonight. Edward, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Yes, Carmen, I do. How are you?
Pretty good. Obviously, an exciting finish for you tonight. A very consistent run of form for you in the number 16 car tonight. But third place, probably not what you were hoping for here at Michigan. Kind of just walk us through your race, and obviously, what do you know if you were missing anything for Wansing there this last couple restarts? It seemed like you were able to get close, but not close enough.
Well, my race is just try to be calm. I try to just be there at the end. I know we had really good pace. The whole team put in a lot of work this week, and I think everyone was running really well. On one of the last restarts, when Wansing doored me, it kind of messed up my toe. So from that point on, the car just wasn't right. I could get to his draft, but the car wasn't. It didn't have the speed that it did prior. So I got tight in the draft, and we couldn't move forward.
Obviously, for you, you were in a Muslim situation, having missed the first 12 races, but the pace that you've had has been pretty well outstanding and phenomenal. 3 races left in the regular season. Obviously, we talked to Feder Place. Feder Place thinks that it's possible. How do you feel going into these next few races? Obviously, Indy Road, Watkins Glen, and Daytona rounding out the season. Do you feel like you can get yourself a win and log yourself into the playoffs here and really kind of stack the deck in favor of Line Power to really have all of their cars in that playoff situation here come a month from now?
Yeah, I think Emma has a heck of a shot going into Indy and/or Watkins. So I'm hoping that she can get a win there, and I'm gonna put my money on Daytona. I normally run pretty well at plate tracks, and Daytona's kind of the same situation as Michigan. You gotta be there at the end. So if our team can get hooked up and get on the right fuel strategy, and I can get a good push, I think Daytona is where we make it happen.
It's going to be an exciting 3 weeks, to say the least. Again, Indy Road Course next week, Watkins Glen after that, and Daytona rounding out the regular season. The push for the playoffs is 100% on Edward Marshall, but another podium. That's how you started your career in ARCS, and it's how you sit tonight here, 3rd place here in the race at Michigan tonight. Before we let you go, if there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congratulations on yet another podium here in the A-Square Cup Series.
Yeah, thanks for Tom Sears picking me up on the Line Power team. I think we got a solid team, and look forward to the rest of the year. I also like to shout out Premier Racing Setups, your one-stop shop for everything setup-wise in iRacing. That goes from asphalt to road to dirt to even dirt road. We have a multi-time champion that's building those trucks and stuff, so really cool. Also like to shout out to my wife. I know she might be watching, so thank you, honey, for letting me race. And that's it.
Again, congratulations, Edward Marshall. 3rd place finish tonight with 3 races to go. The gap to the playoffs is dwindling more and more with 3 races to go. Can't wait to see how that 16 car performs here across these next 3 races. Edward, enjoy the podium, enjoy the results of the team, and we'll be seeing you next week at Indy.
Thank you, Carmen. Have a good one.
That was Edward Marshall, 3rd place finisher here tonight. We're going to go through the race results as they run. It's Seth Wansing and Brandon Fetterplace and Edward Marshall top 3. We heard from all 3 podium finishers tonight. Mike LaJoy finished 4th, a good result for him, but he's also in a must-win situation here. Brendan Robertson 5th, rounding up the top 5. Good result for Sunday Money Racing to kind of back up Wansing's race win. Presidential Racing had a decent turnaround. Pinnell and Feemster finished 6th and 7th ahead of Steven Oberstadt. Matthew Leiter and David Wright recovered to a top 10 finish there for Prophecy Motorsports. Austin Purnell in 11th, Cody Riggs in 12th, Tom Sears 13th, Tommy Withers in 14th ahead of James Kerr, who rounded out the top 15. Donald Ray and Richie Catania 16th and 17th ahead of Josh Garrison, who rounded out the top 18 there. Kind of just panning further on down the order. 21 cars on the lead lap. All 21 that took the checkered flag was on the lead lap. You saw Edward Storrs 19th. Michelle and Bradley Wright, who got caught up in a crash on the final lap, finished on the cusp of the lead lap, 20th to 21st. Tommy Reynolds didn't see the checkered flag. Neither did Dale Markowski or Josh Damon. All 3 of them taken out in that caution with about 10 laps to go in the race. So not a great race for any of them. For Reynolds, he loses a little bit more of a grip on the regular season championship that Brandon Fedderplace holds right now. And obviously for Markowski, a part-time driver, his good race came to an end early. Josh Gaiman, it's been checkers or wreckers for him the last few weeks. A little bit more of the wrecking part, not really much of his doing here tonight. But bad luck here with 3 races to go. Back to road courses may help him out a little bit in that 61 for Beachron Racing. Obviously, Beachron Racing still missing their head honcho, Jeremy Breo, who still occupies a playoff spot at the moment. We'll see if that's still the case across these next 3 weeks. But until then, that's the top 24. That's how the race finished tonight. A lot of action coming up here. Mondays, we're off for only a couple more weeks until HTL starts up again on August 21st. Tuesday, the AB International Sports Car Championship from Monza. That's Tuesday, 8 p.m. And then the ABN Ammo Box Cup Series from Twin Ring Motegi on Wednesday, also at 8 p.m. Those are the next 3 days in advance on what we're going to be doing. 8 p.m. Tuesday and Wednesday. You know where to be here on ABN. On behalf of everyone here for ARCS, for Darkside Mustangs, the A Cup Series, and all of its partners, and everyone here at ABN Studios, medical commentator Kevin Young, I'm Carmen Sienna. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, have some fun this weekend and the week in advance, and we'll see you on Tuesday at Monza. Until then, so long, everybody.